Court has moved to allow President Trump to implement key portions of his executive order on mail-in voting ahead of the November midterm elections. ABC's Devin Dwyer says many questions remain.
This decision is not a surprise, but does now resolve a significant dispute in President Trump's favor that has been pending at the Supreme Court now for several weeks. This involves his March 2026 executive order directing a number of steps for his administration to take to put new safeguards, in his view, around the practice of mail voting in time for the November election.
A trade war heating up between the U.S. and Canada, with various Canadian imports facing 50% tariffs. Canada now vowing to do the same by September. In Nevada, fire crews are starting to get a handle on that fast-moving wildfire that erupted over the weekend northwest of Reno. The blaze, 27% contained, authorities say. Evacuation orders remain in place. This is ABC News. Nearly 25 years after 9/11, a victim of the World Trade Center attack has been identified using genetic genealogy, pairing DNA testing with family trees. Here's ABC's Rena Roy.
The newly identified victim is an adult woman. Her family has chosen to stay private. She's one of nearly 1,100 victims who have never been formally identified. The medical examiner's office has vowed all along never to give up, trying to identify as many of them as possible.
Officials say 47 more victim profiles are good candidates for being identified using that same technology. European regulators have imposed a $1 billion fine on Uber, claiming that the ride-sharing service automatically deactivated drivers' accounts between the years 2018 and 2022. Uber is calling the fine disproportionate and is already appealing. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Coming up, a toddler's death in Seattle now under investigation. That's after Nate Connors at the real-time traffic desk.
All right, Aaron, this report brought to us by the KIRO Newsradio App. Everett to Marysville up a bit to 15-minute drive. Scattered backups now from 526 up to 528 and eastbound 526, all jammed up between the Boeing factory and I-5. Everett to Seattle, just a 35-minute commute, 20 from Linwood, and we are all clear until you get into the U District. From there, it's packed to I-90. North 5, heavy at the West Seattle Bridge to the Columbia Tower, again between Mercer and the Ship Canal Bridge. South 405, heavy from Southeast 8th and Bellevue to Cold Creek Parkway, and then you'll thin out, but you're not in the clear until you get past that VMAC. Bellevue to South Center, a half hour. North 405, you're slow from South Center through the S-curves. Seattle to Federal Way, 35 minutes. Typical backups here, starting at Interurban Avenue. And Tacoma to Olympia, a 40-minute commute. Text app APP to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app, listen to your favorite shows, and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. Seattle police now investigating the death of a 1-year-old baby boy. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports the child's mother is under arrest.
Seattle police and medics were called to an apartment near South Grand Street and Rainier Avenue South in the Atlantic neighborhood just after 12:30 Sunday afternoon for an unresponsive child. They performed CPR, but the child was pronounced dead at the scene. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
Narcotics may have been a contributing factor of child's death. The medical examiner will determine the cause and manner of death.
The baby's mother was arrested for investigation of manslaughter. The medical examiner will determine the exact cause of death. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Statewide Amber Alert for a 1-year-old girl has been canceled. State Patrol says the girl has been located. Authorities were searching for her after they say she was taken from Wenatchee by 41-year-old Stephanie Gifford, and no other details at this time. Suspect in a 5-person homicide in Oregon was found dead in Enumclaw. 36-year-old Benjamin Charles Parker took his own life, deputies say. His body found inside his pickup yesterday behind a Safeway on Roosevelt Avenue. Washington County Sheriff Caprice Massey on the crime scene in Oregon.
I will say that in my 22 years here, I have not been a part of or witnessed a scene quite this complex involving this type of an investigation. 5 people and several pets were killed at that rural property about 30 miles west of Portland. Investigators say Parker knew the victims, but a motive remains unknown. It's also not clear why he ended up in Enumclaw. Expect tighter security this weekend at Seattle Center for Panda Fest, a celebration of Asian food and culture.
Organizers say they are stepping up security measures after that fatal Bite of Seattle shooting. KIRO 7 TV's Tyra Majors.
Festival founder Boo Boo Shu is expecting nearly 25,000 people over the course of the festival.
This year, we have over 50% local vendor to come and support us.
But after July's deadly shooting at Seattle Center during the Bite of Seattle festival, security is taking on an even bigger role this year. Festival goers can expect new security screening at every entrance, including bag checks and open gates metal detector wanding.
And you will need a ticket to get in. Now to your forecast. We are seeing sunshine this afternoon along with some upper-level haze out there. Air quality still good for most of us, and highs today in the mid to upper 70s. Tomorrow even warmer. Right now 75 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
With a face like that and a body like that.
Thanks, Jim Dever. Angela Poe, Russell, and Jim Dever sitting in here for me?
They were.
All right, good. Glad to see we still have a show. Ronnie. You're Ronnie. Good to be back. I don't normally like long vacations, but good to spend some time with my brother.
Hello!
Oh, Teeny! On the floor? On the floor.
This is a disaster!
That is nice. I am so sorry. So sorry, Teeny. There you go.
Excellent!
Right, back into her spot. Okay, there we are.
I'm glad you got a couple-day head start on the beard.
That's what I shaved it off. I knew you were going to yell at me. Or after I shaved that, I noticed all the old men that have beards. I'm like, don't want to join that crowd again. Don't want to be in there. And like, why am I letting Joe determine my facial hair?
I have your best interest in mind.
Oh, okay. I was traveling to Birmingham, Alabama, and I always like to buy a T-shirt. And I saw one in the gift shop. And I thought, God, I like this. Look at this one. That one. And I pick up the Tuskegee Airman shirt. And there's this guy standing next to me. Get the shirt. I said, really? You get the shirt. I was like, all right. They only had extra larges. And large people in Birmingham, Alabama. And I said, why should I get the shirt? Do you know anything about the Tuskegee Airmen? I was like, no. Yeah, you kids, your education sucks. Then he just starts yelling at me about kids aren't learning. I'm like, kids? Look at me, I'm an old man. He's like, yeah, I couldn't tell you were an old man. You didn't have the beard. So I thought I should educate myself, and possibly you as well. How many people here know anything about the Tuskegee Airmen?
A little bit.
This guy, Benjamin O. Davis Jr., so 1932. And West Point lets him in. And then all of a sudden, somebody at West Point's like, hey, I think this guy's black. He's mixed race. And oh, my God, you're right. They don't let any black people into West Point. No way. 1932. So they notice him, and they said, okay, we're going to talk about you tomorrow. We need to find a place for you to stay. So they put him in a janitor closet for the night. And he gets out of the closet the next day, and they have a special meeting. He's not included. And they say, well, we let him in, but he is black. Kind of black-white. Let's do this. Silence. For 4 years, they tell everyone there, do not speak to him. Do not engage with him. Do absolutely nothing at all to this man to create any relationships at all with Mr. Davis. Total and complete silence. He has no friends. He eats alone. He goes to class. No one talks to him. By about the third year, they want him to drop out. They said, here's what we're going to do for you, Mr. Davis. We will pay for you and pay to start a law firm for you in Chicago, and you can just drop out right now, and you don't have to worry about a thing. You're going to have a career ahead of you. He fails only 3 classes. He fails boxing because nobody boxed with him. He fails ballroom dancing. He dances by himself. And the CPR class because no one would team up with him as a partner. 4 years, 0 relationships at all. He attends the Army-Navy game in a bus by himself, driven by a black driver, and sits alone at the Army-Navy game. He graduates 35th out of 276. He then travels after he graduates to black colleges around the United States, and he says, listen, I had a really tough time at West Point, but I did graduate, so you guys keep your head up and stay strong, and things are going to improve. Roosevelt, in the meantime, he needs black votes because he knows that the Democrats are primarily the racist party. They're the ones with the Jim Crow. Blacks were voting for Republicans because Lincoln was a Republican, and that was the case. But Roosevelt needed them desperately to vote for him because if he wasn't able to carry some of the Southern black votes, he would be in trouble. So he ends up hiring Davis's dad, and he gives his dad a position. First time a black has ever been given a position of any sort of authority in the military under Roosevelt. So Davis tells Roosevelt, because Roosevelt's still desperately needing black votes, he says, listen, you need to allow black pilots. See, the whole time, Davis' dad knew that Davis wanted to be a pilot. So he's like, tells Roosevelt that. And Roosevelt's like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. Well, hire somebody. Who are you going to hire? Well, of course, Davis hires Davis, his son, because he certainly deserves it. And then Davis, who had traveled through all of these black historical colleges all up and down the East Coast, he already has connections with all of them. So he puts the word out, hey, the military is looking for black pilots. Well, 35,000 black men apply. 15,000 of them are hired. They take 1,000 of them and they make them the pilots. 14,000 of those guys that applied, they become part of the ground crew and they're part of the staff. So then Davis goes on. He passes the flying test within a couple of days, and then he goes on to fly 60 combat missions, and he ends up commanding the 332nd Fighting Group. And that particular group was credited with knocking down more than 100 enemy aircraft. And then in 1998, Bill Clinton promotes Davis, now retired, promotes him all the way to becoming a 4-star general. He spent 4 years in absolute silence with not one friend. And he said it only strengthened his resolve. He never saw himself as a victim. He always saw himself as somebody that would be able to persevere and succeed. And sure enough, he did. And that is the T-shirt. And I should have bought it, even if it was an extra large, to be able to have the story behind it. I was like, wow. I am ashamed that I didn't know anything about that. Did you know anything about that stories?
Yeah, I know that.
I knew. Yeah, because I was here for a week doing the radio show when you were too busy shaving your beard off.
We talked all about it last week, every day. I knew very surface level information about the black fighter squadron.
Yeah.
That had.
But you didn't know about Davis starting.
No, I knew nothing about him in particular.
Yeah, it was really something.
So they never kicked him out.
I said no, they didn't kick him out. Because they had accepted him.
Right.
They didn't kick him out. They just thought they're going to make it really hard for him. They thought, okay, after a couple of years, a couple of months, if nobody talks to him, he lives alone, he eats alone, he sits alone, no one talks to him. He basically was invisible. They thought, well, at a certain point, he's just going to break and quit and leave. And that's when they went and said, hey, listen, you know what? Will you be a great lawyer? We'll set you up in Chicago. You can be a lawyer. You have a whole career ahead of you. Just go. But they couldn't kick him out.
Did he have a law degree or had he studied law?
No, I guess they thought you go there, you get a law degree because they were smart enough to realize that. But they just wanted to get him out. But he stayed, to be isolated like that. Oh, there you go. Anyway, I had a great time traveling because you know me. I talked to everybody. I saw this cowboy, the cowboy hat on. I went over and I said, hey, you're not supposed to be wearing a black cowboy hat, not during the summer. I'll wear that when it looked nice. So you look really nice. Talked to him. I said, how old are you? He said, 79. I said, what's old? Old is when I have to get somebody to help me get off my horse. I said, what's really old? Really old is when you got to help me get on my horse. I said, he goes, you know what really, really old is? I said, no. He goes, when I don't realize I'm on a horse. I was like, I love this guy. So I got his phone number, Joe. We're going to be getting him on the show at some point for absolutely no other reason other than find him to be such a charming character. I said, I've got a cowboy hat. Good for you. I said, does it bother you when you see these people out there that aren't cowboys or got nothing to do with any of that? They're wearing like boots and cowboy hats. He said, no, I see that as a great honor. It's a way you're paying homage to the culture that is so uniquely American. I said, well, actually, the Spaniards brought the horses over. He's like, yeah, but I mean, we
the vaqueros.
We did more with them on that. And then, who else did I meet, Joe? I met a guy.
Andrew Yang, apparently.
Andrew Yang, who recognized me. We're going to get him on the show because
he recognized you.
No. Well, I spent 3 years mispronouncing his last name. No, because he is, they're working on a third-party candidate for 2028. He said, just wait and see. It's going to go. I said, libertarian? He said, no, it's going to be, there's too much problems between the Democrats and the Republicans. He said that we believe this is going to be the year, 2028 presidential year, all the independents, all the people that have sort of left MAGA, and all the Democrats that just don't want anything to do with the socialists. So I think they're going to rush in there and then have all that sort of stuff.
But he's not affiliated with Tucker Carlson and Joe Kent and those guys?
You seen that?
Oh, yeah. We
No.
talked about it.
No. He's not in there with those guys. They're not organized enough. And besides, no, I don't think he has to do with those guys. One other thing. Then I'm sitting there flying to Birmingham, talking to this guy. He's got dreadlocks, got glasses on. He's got this like Rasta hat. And I said, I happen to know, was that a trumpet or something? No, it's a soprano sax. I said, well, I play the saxophone. He goes, oh, good for you. I said, how long have you been playing for? Oh, since I was 8. I said, how old are you now? He said, 77. I'm there having a conversation with him, and he got to go to the bathroom, so I'm on my phone. I look him up. I'm like, holy moly, Marion Meadows. So I'm reading all about him. Marion Meadows. I'm like, gee, look at this guy. Frank Sinatra traveled with Whitney Houston, known as one of the finest saxophone players in the country. And I was like, good Lord. I only said, like I told, he's a legend. And I asked him,
you told him you played the sax.
And I also asked him, when did you start playing? Yeah. He told a really great story. He told many great stories, but here's one of my favorites. He said he met B.B. King. He said, so I went to I was 13 years old. I was living in Stamford, Connecticut. And my friends called up and said, hey, we got to go to New York City tonight because there's going to be a great show. Jethro Tull, Santana, and War, right? Yeah. I think those guys, and B.B. King. They're all playing in one club. He goes, well, I can't leave because my mom and dad, if I come home, my mom and dad catch me and I'm not home, they're going to beat me. Well, hurry up. We can get in the city, get back in time. He goes, so I go in, I see the show. I said, oh, my God, Santana and Jethro Tull. B.B. King goes, yeah. He's waiting for his friends. He said, my friends are smoking pot. I'm waiting to get on the plane, waiting on the train to go back to Connecticut. And B.B. King comes around the corner. He says, what are you doing here, little man? He goes, oh, my friends are over there. I got to get home. I got to get home because my mom and dad, I got to get on that train, the last train out of New York. B.B. King looks at him and goes, oh, okay. Well, thanks for coming to the show. Oh, I had a great time. He said, like 25 years later, he's playing a gig, playing the sax, and B.B. King is playing. And B.B. King goes, he says to King, I met you before. B.B. King goes, where'd we meet? He goes, I was in New York City. I was 13 years old, and I told you I had it. And B.B. King stops and goes, hold on, little man. You got to get on the train or your parents are going to beat your ass when you're 13 years old. He goes, yeah.
Serious?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And he told me all about Whitney Houston and playing with her and then all the musicians. Of course, I asked him about Frank Sinatra. And Marion Meadows says, oh, my God, Frank Sinatra. You play with Frank Sinatra. You play with him, and he would wait at the end of the show, and he would shake the hands of every musician that came off that stage. I was like, poof. It's crazy. And even when I got off the plane, this woman says to me, do you realize who you're sitting next to? I said, I do now, but I looked him up. She goes, oh, my God. We were 3 people in the back. We're so jealous that I got a chance to sit with somebody who I asked him, when you start playing the saxophone. And,
oh, I play the sax.
I do play the sax.
Since when?
Andrew.
What? You play the sax?
You don't know that?
No, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you look me up on Wikipedia?
If you played the sax, you would have one in your living room.
I have a saxophone. But
well, you better bring it in then.
Nick has banished it.
Wait a minute. There's one under my desk that's been there since I started here.
Not a saxophone.
Yeah.
No, there isn't.
Yes, there is. Oh, how much time?
Wait a minute. There is not a saxophone.
Let me go see. I'll be right back.
Under your desk?
Yeah, keep me covered.
I've got video of it. I played one time with Tom. Wait a minute. How does he have a saxophone under his desk? That's not mine. Do you see it, Andrew? Me playing saxophone.
I should see if it's on YouTube.
I think so. It didn't go well. I hadn't played in a while, and it's been banished to the YouTube Tom and Curley Show around Christmas time. Wait a minute, that's not mine. Whose is that? That's not a tenor sax. Is that a little alto?
It might not even be a saxophone.
I have a video of Chaz playing the sax with you and Tom.
Okay, a little bit of that.
You want to hear that?
Sure.
All right, let's see.
It's not me, but. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
D minor, B flat,
Chaz,
C.
what are you doing? Well, I'm just finding my Christmas
trumpet.
spirit.
Oh, my! I've got the Christmas spirit too.
Great.
Tom, come on in. What do you say? We all sing a song.
It'll be great, Tom.
No way! I'd love to. Come
on,
on,
Tom.
Tom.
The more the merrier.
Hey. I'll get my guitar.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I got my lyrics.
Oh,
What do you know?
Came prepared.
Let's play Winter Wonderland in the key of C.
Well, you know what? Since this is our video, we should put this on the YouTube stream. So hang on.
You ever played this?
While Joe plays a trumpet.
Why do you have a trumpet on
I have
your
no
desk?
idea. There's all kinds of crap on there that I inherited when I took that desk.
What? How big is the under part of your? That's a smashed up trumpet. How come you have all this stuff under your desk?
I have no idea. Jacob doesn't either because I asked him about it. He's like, I don't know. It's been here since I started. So.
No, that's horrible looking. Look at that. It's all dented up. All I know is about the trumpet players. They were always the one that got the girls. Wow, this is a mess.
I thought the sax players always got the girls. No?
No.
Oh, boy.
What the hell?
I just showed it in there. I don't know.
Okay. No, it was just a strong.
Why? But regardless, this is the first we're hearing about your saxophone.
It is not a first time. I brought it in and played it. It was terrible. I hadn't played it in a long time, and the reed was all busted up. No, the saxophone is not in the barn. Nick has sent it all the way down to the garden shed. It goes to the garden shed for fear that I'm going to bring it out.
Yeah, they are loud.
Nick.
It's a little. Even if you're a good saxophone player, those are not the easiest thing to sit next to.
No. Well, I will bring it in tomorrow for you.
Okay, good.
In fact, why don't we do this? We'll try to get, because Marion said he would come on the show, and because he started an org. What?
I'm all about having him on the show, but I don't want you to.
Why not? Okay, why?
Well, you can't if you have a decorated musician who's played with B.B. King and legends in the music industry, and you're going to whip out your sax that's been in the shed since God knows when.
Okay, well, let's do this. Why don't we let the people decide? That's what democracy looks like.
Okay.
1-888-973-5476. Local Casino Resort text line. Should I play my saxophone with Mary Meadows, a world-renowned, accomplished saxophone player? Now, he plays primarily the soprano sax. I play the tenor.
Okay.
1-888-973-5476. What else you got under your desk there?
I don't know, all kinds of weird stuff. There's like MREs in there.
Joe, this thing you can't get any air through it.
There's probably a dead roach in there.
It's the first time I've ever opened it. So.
Yeah, there's something stuck inside there. Yeah, thank you for that. Dead roach. Okay, here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
Brought to you by Wilcox Farms, Linwood to Seattle, 25 minutes. You're packed now from Ravenna into downtown. North 5, scattered backups between the West Seattle Bridge and Ship Canal, 20 minutes from bridge to bridge. Bellevue to South Center on 405 is a 35-minute commute. We're bumper to bumper from Southeast 8th all the way to Northeast 44th near the VMAC. Seattle to Federal Way, 35 minutes. Scattered backups between Interurban and 516. Eastbound 518, you're bumper to bumper leaving the airport over to I-5. Just volume here. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeways at 40 minutes. And if you're traveling up toward Ferndale, North 5 is Smith Road. A collision blocks the left lane. That's one lane open, and we've got a 3+ mile bumper to bumper backup almost into downtown Bellingham. For a convenient, healthy snack on the go, look for ready-to-eat Wilcox hard-boiled eggs. Find Wilcox eggs at Costco, Metro Market, Safeway, and other local grocers. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Coming up tomorrow morning in Choke Points, you know that annoying car in front of you going way under the speed limit, but you can't pass? It's a 2-lane road. Why isn't that guy getting over? It's not like it's the law. Oh, yeah, it is. But you know what? There aren't any signs to tell that driver to do so. What are we doing? I'm here to help you out tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
It's time to move on from your dull kitchen, outdated bath, and old cabinets. Create a space that is fresh, more functional, and beautiful. Sound Kitchen and Bath creates stunning kitchens and baths to meet your budget. Why wait? We customize every kitchen and bath with incredible quality and style. We come to your home and make it easy for you. Sound Kitchen and Bath, soundkitchenandbath.com.
I want a woman. I want a big girl.
See the hysterical Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias when he takes the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, Saturday, August 29th at 5:30 and 9:30 p.m.
This way, we both can agree on the temperature of the thermostat.
He's sold out stadiums around the world, and now he's coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on August 29th. Get tickets before they're gone to laugh out loud with Gabriel Iglesias at muckleshootcasino.com.
Not all roofs are created equal, and not all warranties are either. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Right now, take advantage of free lifetime Golden Pledge warranties on all GAF shingle installations and save up to $3,000 or choose 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest up to 24 months. Summertime savings won't last forever. Protect your home with a roof you can count on for decades. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today. Held to a higher standard since 1968.
A dark night, a quiet suburb. But for one family, danger lurks just downstairs.
Oh, no. That's just my husband getting a midnight snack.
Guilty. But
We have Xfinity Shield. It has a built-in Wi-Fi feature that detects movement without cameras.
well, what they didn't know is that an even bigger threat lurks online. A hacker.
Actually, Xfinity Cybersecure protects our connected devices, too.
Okay, fine. But what they didn't see coming
Is that these features are included with our Wi-Fi? We did. Kind of the whole point.
Well, this one's not getting a sequel.
What if protecting your home and devices could be drama-free? Introducing Xfinity Shield with Wi-Fi features designed to give you peace of mind. Visit xfinity.com/shield to learn more. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Xfinity Internet and compatible equipment required.
It's the Great Summer Sell-a-thon at the Spa Warehouse, and the deals are incredible. When the leaves turn and the temps fall, imagine sinking into your very own saltwater caldera spa. Bubbly, blissful, warm water right in your own backyard. Our Summer Sell-a-thon means massive savings on in-stock models, so owning your dream hot tub is more affordable than ever. Plus, get interest-free financing through 2028. Visit today for the hot tub of your dreams. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
I like it hot.
Beg your pardon?
Can you make it hot for me, Dan?
I think so.
Half heated ain't hot enough.
No.
That's why I called you.
Apollo Plumbing.
Yeah, my sorry old water heater.
Oh.
Ain't getting me the hots anymore.
You want hot water.
That's what I said.
That's what we do at Apollo Plumbing.
And you're ready?
Right now.
When can you?
How about today?
Same day?
We'll have you in hot water tonight.
Clever. How about an upgrade?
A tankless water heater would mean endless hot water.
Now you're cooking.
That's just for starters.
Starters?
How about we make it a worry-free water heater?
Worry-free?
Wrenchie's worry-free warranty.
Which covers?
Repair, service, all included.
And when it wears out?
Apollo replaces it.
No extra charge?
Nothing.
Nil?
Nada. As an Apollo A-list member, you're covered.
And payments?
To fit your budget with approved credit, of course.
And I'm hot again.
Worry-free.
That's for me.
We're on our way.
Thanks for making it hot.
We're ApolloPlumbing.com.
Certain industries expose workers to hazardous chemicals. If you worked in a paper or pulp mill, or in aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and have a child born with birth defects, your child may be entitled to legal damages as a result of your exposure to such chemicals. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals, metals, and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb malformations, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other birth defects, and you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill, aircraft manufacturing, or painting, contact us now toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill or aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. A divided U.S. Supreme Court ruled today that the Trump administration can move forward with plans to restrict mail-in voting before November's midterms. ABC's Devin Dwyer reports the president's order allows the Postal Service to help determine which voters receive mail-in ballots.
This is direction of the Department of Homeland Security to create a federal citizenship list and to distribute it to the state. He asked the Attorney General with this executive order to prosecute any state official who gives a ballot to someone who is ineligible.
The ruling poses a threat to our state's all-mail voting system. Washington is among 23 states that sued to block that order. Trade war between the U.S. and Canada escalating after negotiations between the two countries collapsed. ABC's Rachel Scott reports.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney declaring his country is at war with the U.S.
You're at war when you get attacked. We got attacked.
President Trump has now imposed a 50% tariff on $20 billion of Canadian goods, including hockey sticks, furniture, textiles, building supplies, and alcohol.
Canada is vowing retaliation starting on September 8th with 50% tariffs on U.S. imports, everything from steel and dairy to plywood and electronics. Washington's drought is getting worse as summer winds down. Here's KIRO News Radio's Tim Hole.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says parts of north central Washington are now in extreme drought. Oregon State climatologist Larry O'Neill says the dry conditions aren't starting wildfires, but they are helping them grow.
Drought didn't cause these ignitions, but they created the conditions with exceptionally dry vegetation fuels to favor rapid fire growth and extreme impacts once those fires started.
Warmer and drier than normal conditions are expected into the fall, and with a strong El Nino increasingly likely, climate experts say the Northwest could be at risk for another winter of low snowpack. Tim Hole, KIRO News Radio.
Tacoma Fire says dry conditions fueled multiple brush fires across the city today. The department's Chelsea Shepard says one broke out near the port of Tacoma after a passing train ignited the brush along the tracks.
We definitely want people to know that it is very dry out there. We hope people are at least being very careful with the preventable piece of this, right? You know, we don't want people throwing cigarettes out the windows, and like this is just evidence of how dry it really is.
No one was hurt in that Port of Tacoma fire, but did damage a couple utility poles nearby. Now to the traffic desk at 3:32. We check in with Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, for the most part, it's a Monday light commute out there. Everett to Marysville's gone up to 20 minutes. Scattered backups from 526 up to 528 heading into Marysville. Seattle to Everett, 35 minutes. You're crowded through Shoreline and then just north of the Linwood interchange. Otherwise, a wide open commute. Bellevue to Everett, 45 minutes. You're crowded through Kirkland. You'll thin out through Totem Lake. Linwood to Seattle is at 25 minutes. You're packed from Ravenna in the downtown. North 5, scattered backups from the West Seattle Bridge or the Ship Canal Bridge. Bellevue to South Center is going to take you 35 minutes. It is thick from Southeast 8th and Bellevue all the way to the VMAC. Over to Tiger Mountain, westbound 18, bumper to bumper from Deep Creek up to the Summit. That's a 3-mile backup there. And if you're heading out toward Gig Harbor, westbound 16, a brief 2 to 3 mile backup starting near 36th Street. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Sunny skies today with some upper-level smoke, some hazy skies, and worsening air quality in some spots for tomorrow. Warm to hot on Tuesday. Plenty of 80s to near 90s on Tuesday. Right now, 76 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Here we go, the John Curley Show. Good to be back. Home Comfort Alliance when it comes to heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs. It's Home Comfort Alliance.com. How are we doing on the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line at 1-888-973-5476? Should I play the saxophone or not?
Pretty split. Lots of takes.
They're still coming in now, Joe. We have to make sure some people can mail their votes in as well. The question was, Marion Meadows, a world-famous saxophone player who I met on a plane, great guy, and we're going to get him on the show to talk about a nonprofit that he set up back on the East Coast to provide instruments for kids and then help them with their music. He believes that music and culture will unite the country. That's what he's saying. It surpasses politics. It hits people on a much deeper level. Great guy, going to be fun to talk to him. And then I threw in, hey, why don't I bring my sax in and play? And Joe immediately just took a big crap on that idea. And I thought, well, I don't know what Joe's trying to destroy the show or something. You got some sort of weird thing you've done. So, this is the... I didn't realize it. When I was away, I didn't know news keeps going. Maple Valley homeowners there at Taylor Creek saying that a beaver dam flooding the properties, but state officials say they cannot intervene without permission from neighboring landowners.
That used to be all dry land. Now it's all taken over by water. And it's not just water, it's swamp water.
He says the creek that once cut through the property is now backed up by beavers, transforming flowing water into a swamp.
Right now, as deep as it is, it's at one of its lowest points because we haven't had any rain. So we're terrified that when the rain comes in, it could wipe out some of our homes.
Water at the Henry's home across the street has knocked down trees.
It just made it difficult to do any gardening like we used to.
Right.
And caused the collapse of this shed.
It destroyed the blueberry.
The neighbors believe beaver dams are causing the issues, but those dams are not on their property. They say the state hasn't helped.
It's getting worse.
According to Washington law, beaver dams can be removed when they threaten private land, but there's nothing in here about requiring a removal. We emailed Washington's Department of Fish and Wildlife. They told me they can't require a landowner remove beavers if they don't want to, and licensed trappers can't trap them on private property without permission.
That's complicated. Very complicated.
Resources say removing dams can be pointless because the beavers often come back.
That's not good. So what can be done?
We tried talking to the neighbors whose property neighbors believe the dams are being built on, but they didn't want to speak with us.
Oh. Well, there's the story. Who cares about the beaver dams? Why don't you want to talk to us?
That's right.
Hello. And why is Nate involved in this story? Nate?
He doesn't know either, I don't think.
Yeah, what? What story?
It's because Joe... this is going to be informative. Because Joe said Nate's going to talk about the beaver dam.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, well, there's a number of them.
No,
the Maple Valley Beaver Dams.
Sit down there,
Everyone knows about the Maple Valley Beaver Dams.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then let me quiz you on this. You ready?
Okay.
Why do beavers build dams?
No Googling.
No Googling. Don't Google.
Well, I'm not. Look at my hands and I.
Okay, why do they build dams?
Well, because that's their house. Well, I'm not done. And it makes a pool of water to make it easier for them to go fishing.
All right, so it's a house, and then and so they build like a house, and then they can go fishing.
Yeah, well, dams up the water, so the fish will just kind of pool around.
Right, so that's beavers just love fish. So
well, who doesn't?
Right. Okay. So they build the house, and then all the fish get together in one thing. Joe, why do beavers build dams, according to a 1960s experiment in Sweden?
Because they hate the sound of running water.
That's right. Here we go.
When a beaver makes a dam, it's not so it can live there.
Sorry, Nate. It's not building a house.
No.
I know, but this guy's got an English accent. He knows what he's talking about.
In the 60s, a Swedish scientist raised beavers in isolation, looking to discover why they build. He noticed when given running water, they went straight to work. And by morning, a perfect dam. The moving water awakening an instinct. So the scientist broke the impulse down. Testing the beavers, he ran silent water through a clear pipe and the sound of running water from a speaker.
Okay, so he's got water running through a clear pipe, but you can't hear it. Then he has a speaker off to the side. And what do you think the beavers do, Nate?
If they hear running water?
Yeah, they
get busy.
He then watched as the beavers approached the water and then passed right by it, burying the speaker instead in sticks and mud. It turns out beavers were never just patching a leak. They were silencing a sound. And that every beaver dam on Earth might just be them trying to get a moment of peace and quiet.
There we go.
How about that?
And now you know the rest of the story.
It's not about building a house. And
Never heard that in my life.
It's beaver country.
That they don't like the sound of running water. Come on.
You don't believe it?
It's a sweet.
They live in the water. How can they not like it?
They live in the water, but they don't want to hear.
That's like a fish hating the sound of running water.
What's happened to Nate since I've been gone?
It's been a weird week.
It was or something.
Things have been a little odd around here.
It's a scientific experiment.
Controlled study.
Okay, from the 60s.
Oh yeah, the beavers have changed a lot in the last 50 some years. Like, for some reason, just saying the word out loud makes people laugh.
Now they're ice fishing because everything is frozen, and you're looking for fat in the beaver.
Yeah,
the beaver is the beaver is the most sought after.
It is.
Ryan, do you think you could eat beaver? It's fat and then it's meat.
It made them all sick, though. They all got sick after it.
Well, you can't eat diseased animals.
I need Nate in
What
there.
about a moose?
I don't know what's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about this show, Dina, but you're really funny.
Okay.
You are a really funny gal.
Yeah, for some, a lot of laughs. The beavers, by the way, because beavers wear their teeth down constantly by gnawing on wood, evolution's solution was to give them incisors that never stop growing. So their teeth are always growing. Oh. So what they have to do is they always have to be like gnawing on it. If not, the teeth would come around and basically lock their lower jaw in place.
That's fascinating.
Just a lot of talk about beavers.
I bet you at one point when humans are able to regrow teeth, it will have something to do with the beavers.
And then I'll be the spokesperson.
That's
for
right.
it.
Yes, you will.
All right. I'm John Curley for Advanced Teeth.
You know what they say about people with beaver teeth, don't you?
No, I almost hate to even engage with you.
I have no idea. I was just wondering if you've ever seen.
You know, like a beaver just builds stuff to dam something up to stop something.
Yes,
that's what you just did to the show. I thought we got to get a joke.
That's right.
We got. I don't know.
It's a bumper dam.
Yeah. All right. I don't know what the other hosts were doing when you were in here. They were letting just Nate run
Just
wild?
let me go crazy.
Oh,
yeah.
that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah.
fine.
Hey, by the way, I did learn a lot there in that beaver segment.
Me too.
Yeah. I did too. I think we all did. We're all better for it. All right, goes Nate checking traffic.
Everett to Marysville, 20 minutes. Seattle to Everett, 40. Bellevue to Everett, 45. This is kind of the story right now this afternoon. Relatively light volumes across the board. Bellevue to South Center is right around a half hour. It is thick, though, from Southeast 8th all the way to the VMAC, and then you clear out right away. North 405 in South Center is slow coming off I-5 through those Renton S-curves. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, just a 40-minute trip. Also just 40 minutes from Tacoma to Olympia. In fact, you're wide open till you get into Lacey, and then we've got a backup just briefly about 2 to 3 miles between Lacey and downtown Olympia. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Thank you, Nate Connors. Appreciate that. If parts of the house are not functioning correctly for you, and I'm not talking about your heating and cooling systems. We can talk about that later from Home Comfort. I'm talking about the fact that sometimes there's just not enough storage. And people make desperate moves like, let's move out or let's throw a bunch of stuff away. Let's have a giant yard sale that nobody wants to come to. Or they do come and then they judge all of our stuff. Or maybe they rent a storage unit. Oh, my gosh. How about this? How about just having Closets by Design come to your house? And the experts there at Closets by Design, they've been in the business for 22 years, family run. They can see what's not functioning. Either they build you a new cabinet, they build you custom storage, like for instance in the garage. Imagine driving in a couple of weeks and there's an entire wall of cabinets, so all of your half-done crappy projects are hidden from everybody's view. You don't even have to think about them again. And maybe even in that one closet that's downstairs near the front door that you can't find anything in, how about if they rearrange the whole thing? Or upstairs in one of the bedrooms, there's cabinets and little cubbies for all of your shoes. Closets by Design. 1-800-BY-DESIGN. That's closetsbydesign.com.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear G and Ursula.
It's got to be a white man that I'm voting for in 2028.
Weekdays 9 to noon.
Kamala Harris, I'm not voting for you. AOC, I ain't voting for you. We can't take no more chances. It's going to be a white man that I'm voting for in 2028.
See, I think that's so sad without even knowing.
If you think that there's somebody that you believe that can win in 2028, you let me know.
Subscribe to the G and Ursula Show on YouTube and watch live or later.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
Truck started slow. Battery might be toast.
Slow starts are the first sign of heat damage to your battery. We'll test it, no charge.
Thanks. And if it is dead?
We'll set you up with a new, fully warranted battery, some up to 5 years, and we'll recycle the old one.
Thanks for the rundown. Lead the way.
Get free battery testing, charging, and recycling at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Those words weren't written for history books. They were written for you. But it's hard to pursue happiness when aging is part of everyday life. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic was created to help people with overall wellness and longevity, including diabetes management, heart health, weight management, inflammation reduction, nutrition, cognitive health, hormone therapy, and more. I can tell you from personal experience, being a patient for 17 years, I have a richer, fuller life, and I'm better able to pursue my own happiness. As America celebrates 250 years of independence, give yourself the chance to reclaim yours. Independence from aging. Take control of your health before small issues become big problems. Experience a smarter, proactive approach to aging, backed by decades of experience with longevity. Do what I did and feel like yourself again. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out how at lmclinic.com.
At Carrier, we know that a comfortable home is a happy one. Whether it's with innovative breakthroughs in heating and cooling efficiency, or with different ways to control your home's temperature and air quality, we are always imagining new ways to make your home totally comfortable.
Turn to the experts and let your local Carrier heating and cooling dealer improve your home's comfort and efficiency. Visit CarrierNorthwest.com to find an expert near you. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Over 700,000 U.S. troops have walked on pet decorator floors at the SeaTac and Lewis USO centers. Hi, this is Tammy Michaels. Whether you raise a hand or a paw to serve our country, Pet Decorator is proud to give back and honor those who serve. See for yourself why Pet Decorator flooring is so beautiful and durable. Available exclusively at Sound Kitchen and Bath. Find out more at petdecorator.com.
KIRO News Radio has your chance to win 2 tickets to see Anthony Hamilton with Tony, live under the stars at the Tulalip Amphitheater, Thursday, September 10th. Go to mynorthwest.com/win for contest rules and your chance to win.
Guys, if you have low energy or reduced drive, it could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, start with a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com.
Here we go with the John Curley Show. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line at 1-888-973-5476. Aaron's going to come in and talk Mariners at some point. We're doing that? Yeah. Still on the board on that one? No?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
just as long as we don't have Nate back on here.
Oh, honey.
I mean...
Yeah, I deserve that.
No. Oh, no.
Come on. Nate did great.
49ers owner Jed York, arrested in Ohio, pleads no contest to 2 misdemeanors. ESPN reports. Apparently, he went to a trailer park and paid a female for a little bit of comfort.
$140.
For one gal, $140 at a trailer park. And was it in Ohio?
Yes, it was in.
Traveled all the way to Ohio for this.
Well, that's where he grew up. So he lives about 30 minutes outside of the little town he got caught in, which I believe was City, East Palestine.
Oh yeah. Oh sure. Well, that all makes sense. Mm-hmm. The weird part is, what the hell are you doing? Right? First of all, why go to a trailer park? The same thing can happen with the owner of the
Robert Kraft. Yes.
Kraft with the Patriots, right? He goes to some place,
massage
parlor, back in a nasty part of town or something. I guess the only way you'd be able to explain this is because this way, if they went to high-priced call girls or something, they might get outed, could get blackmailed. I guess they go there because no one's going to know who they are. It's not like she goes, oh, I remember you used to live here. You went to high school with my sister. He goes to a trailer park, which is pretty much going to be anonymous. And now here he's facing 2 misdemeanor charges. Whatever happened to Kraft? Nothing, really.
Nothing.
Right?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. The same thing will happen. Nothing's going to happen to this guy. I can't imagine all of a sudden.
Legally, nothing will happen to him.
Legally, yes, he's going to pay a fine and something's going to happen to him, but he's not going to lose his position as one of the owners of the 49ers.
Yeah, that's the question. I think the NFL, they've got a code of conduct for executives and players and executives, anybody affiliated with the Shield, as they call it. So, but they tend to give a little more leeway to the suits than the players.
I wonder how they caught him.
I don't know. That part is still unclear.
No, when I say I wonder how they caught him, you're supposed to jump in with because we're a news organization.
Right.
When you jump in with they set up a sting, we'd have the answer for that. Wonder how they caught him.
Oh, well, they set up a sting.
We don't know.
Here's what I do know. He apparently had negotiated a deal. He negotiated the encounter on a well-known website for these sorts of things. Uh-huh. I don't know if that's like a Facebook Marketplace or used to be like Backpage got shut down for this kind of thing.
Okay.
So I don't know where maybe Craigslist.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I read a really fascinating article about monogamy and why it was being enforced, even going back to the time of the Romans and the Greeks and stuff. And one of the reasons was they didn't want the rich guy to be able to have like 5 or 10 wives. Because then what it allowed him to do, then he could sire many children, and then he, with 10 wives, let's say they produced 3 children each, now all of a sudden you got 30 or 40 of his, genetic heirs out into the empire. So then what they did is they enforced monogamy because it stopped the guy. They said, if you're going to marry this person, you have to be married. Now you can have concubines, you can have prostitution, but you can't have wives that would then legally carry the name of your children, because that would only allow you more strength, more power, and more empire ruling. So it wasn't for any religious reason.
It was for democracy.
There you go.
Wow.
Anyway, how about that? See that? See what you learn? Look, we went from a trailer park in Ohio to the Greeks and Romans. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nathan.
All right, KIRO News Radio app has the update. South 5 into Seattle, we're heavy from Lake City Way now, down to I-90. North 5 scattered backups approaching the West Seattle Bridge up to the Ship Canal Bridge. Both of our lake bridges are wide open. Bellevue to South Center, plan on 35 minutes. It's real thick from mid-Bellevue down to Northeast 44th near the VMAC, and then it opens up right away for you. In fact, we're all clear even in South Center. Seattle to Federal Way, a half hour. You're slow from Interurban Avenue down about South to 60th now. Renton to Puyallup is at 40 minutes. The north end, just minor slowing here and there. It's south of State Route 18 where it's bumper to bumper into Puyallup. And over toward Tiger Mountain, westbound 18, you've got a 3 to 4 mile bumper to bumper backup from Deep Creek up to the summit from road work. Text app to 888-973-5476 and download the KIRO News Radio app. You can listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Coming up tomorrow morning in Choke Points, you know that annoying car in front of you going way under the speed limit, but you can't pass? It's a 2-lane road. Why isn't that guy getting over? It's not like it's the law. Oh, yeah, it is. But you know what? There aren't any signs to tell that driver to do so. What are we doing? I'm here to help you out tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio app.
Summer is for letting it rip.
Swung on and missed, ripped it right by it. 7 scoreless innings. Marvelous Miller again.
Summer is for showing out.
Swing and a miss. Woo, 6 up and 6 down.
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Logan Gilbert, he's knocked down a dozen in a row.
So call your favorite Walter and head to T-Mobile Park because our pitchers are rolling. From George Kirby to Senor Smoke.
Up in the attic at 101. Nothing but the Express tonight for Andres Munoz.
Matilda would be proud. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Don't miss out on another great interleague series at T-Mobile Park. Julio Rodriguez and the Mariners are squaring off against Bryce Harper and the Philadelphia Phillies. And the action continues tomorrow night at 6:40 and Wednesday afternoon at 1:10 with a special midweek matinee. Get your tickets for this marquee matchup at mariners.com.
30 years ago, Davis Law Group was founded to be the best law firm for our clients and our community. Our core values are to win, help, and serve. It means our success is defined by the difference we make in our clients' lives and the impact we can have in our community. Not by giant settlement checks or shiny offices. Our mission to lift up the vulnerable extends beyond the courtroom to our charity partners, promoting safety, uplifting students, accident victims, foster youth, and the elderly. If you've been injured and want better results for your claim and for all of Washington, call Davis Law Group today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Progressive knows you've got plenty of things to worry about.
What time does the kids' practice end? How long has that check engine light been on? Are takeout containers microwave safe?
So the last thing you should have to worry about is what to do if something unexpected happens on the road. That's why if you're ever in a major accident, Progressive's accident response can detect it and send help. It's just one less thing to worry about.
How long does chicken last in the fridge?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time. Like on Wash and Wax, you can get 3 Meguiar's products for just $20. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Hartley here from Wilcox Farms. For over 100 years, my family's been committed to doing what's right. At Wilcox Family Farms, that means caring for our hens with healthy pasture environments and a diet of organic grains and flax seeds. It's how we produce eggs that are wholesome, flavorful, and good for you. Next time you're at an egg case in your local store, we hope you feel good about choosing Wilcox eggs. Wilcox Family Farms, locally fresh since 1909.
Dear Ursula, I have a group of friends who have bonded over...
Hi, I'm Ursula Boytine from the G and Ursula Show, and I'm launching a new podcast called Ask Ursula. This is your space. Real life, real questions, whether it's about family, friendships, love, and yes, even the fun stuff like travel and finding your signature scent. Hit me up and ask your questions at mynorthwest.com/Ursula. I look forward to connecting with you.
At mynorthwest.com and the G and Ursula YouTube channel.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Supreme Court is allowing portions of President Trump's executive order on mail-in voting to proceed. ABC's Devin Dwyer says it does not specifically endorse any restrictive steps argued in courts by the states.
His direction of the Department of Homeland Security to create a federal citizenship list and to distribute it to the state. He asked the Attorney General with this executive order to prosecute any state official who gives a ballot to someone who is ineligible. For now, the president can move forward with building that citizenship list, threatening state officials with prosecution, and working with the Postal Service for how states have to print their ballots.
The U.S. and Canada locked in a back and forth on tariffs. Canada says it will put tariffs on American goods in September in place after the U.S. imposed 50% hikes on a variety of Canadian imports. Northwest of Reno, fire crews wrangling a wildfire. The Hawk Fire is now 27% contained. This is ABC News. The Lindsay Clancy trial in Massachusetts nearing its conclusion. Prosecutors are calling rebuttal witnesses. The jury will continue to hear testimony tomorrow. Clancy is accused of deliberately killing her 3 children. Back in 2023, defense attorneys claim she suffered from postpartum psychosis. Here's ABC's Peter Haralambous.
Prosecutors have a lot to sum up here. In total, with these rebuttal witnesses, 74 different witnesses over the course of more than 4 weeks that they're going to have to concisely summarize for all of these jurors. And then also another thing is this charge conference. How is the judge going to instruct the jury on the law in this case? How should they interpret the law, especially considering about how complex this case has become? That jury charge is really going to be critical for this jury to begin their deliberations.
Severe heat continuing in western states. In California's Death Valley National Park, a French tourist died when the car he was in got stuck in the mud, and he set out to walk with his traveling companion. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Coming up, an arrest made after the death of a toddler in Seattle. That's after Nate Connors at the Real-Time Traffic Desk.
Thanks, Aaron. This one is brought to you by Seattle Sports. Everett to Marysville, right around a 20-minute commute. Typical backups here between 526 and 528. South 5 into Seattle, heavy now from Ravenna Boulevard to I-90. Linwood in Seattle, just a 25-minute drive, which is really good for this time of day. North 5, scattered backups approaching the West Seattle Bridge. Over to the Ship Canal Bridge, about 25 minutes gets you through all this. Bellevue to South Center, 35 minutes. It's packed from mid-Bellevue all the way to the VMAC, and then it opens right up for you. Seattle to Federal Way is a half hour. You're slow from Interurban to 516 now. And Tacoma to Olympia, just a 40-minute commute. You're wide open till you get into Lacey, where you've got about a 3-mile backup in the downtown Olympia. Download the Seattle Sports app to stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granello. A Seattle woman is under arrest following the death of her 1-year-old boy. This happened yesterday afternoon inside an apartment near South Grand Street and Rainer Avenue South in the Atlantic neighborhood. Detective Brian Pritchard says officers and medics found that child unresponsive.
Despite life-saving efforts, the Seattle Fire Department medics were unable to save the child's life, and the child was pronounced deceased at the scene.
Baby's mother was arrested for investigation of manslaughter. Detectives say narcotics may have been a factor, but the medical examiner will determine the exact cause of death. Flock cameras helped Enumclaw police track down a man suspected of killing 5 people in Oregon. The story from KIRO News Radio's Tim Hole.
Enumclaw police had been tipped that 36-year-old Benjamin Charles Parker might be headed their way. Sergeant Josh Bryan says officers checked the city's flock cameras, and there he was late Saturday.
We saw that he had hit a couple of our flock cameras last night. Nothing today.
On Sunday, police found Parker dead by suicide in his pickup behind the Safeway on Roosevelt Avenue. Investigators still haven't said why he ended up in Enumclaw. Parker is suspected of killing 5 people near Forest Grove, Oregon, outside Portland. Investigators say Parker knew the victims. A motive remains unknown. Tim Hole, KIRO News Radio.
Celebration of Asian food and culture returns to Seattle Center this weekend. Panda Fest organizers say they boosted security after the deadly shooting at the Bite of Seattle. Festival founder Bu Shu tells KIRO 7 TV you can expect bag checks, metal detection screening at every entrance.
Clients come to our events, they definitely want us to create a safe environment for them to enjoy the food and music.
You will also need a ticket to get in. The Panda Fest runs Friday through Sunday. A 16-year-old from Redmond takes the court at the U.S. Open in New York tomorrow. Kristina Lutova playing in the qualifying rounds at her first ever Grand Slam tennis event.
What I try to have in me, this strong belief in myself and confidence that there's nothing impossible.
If Lutova wins 3 matches in qualifying, she will make the main draw. She became the youngest active Women's Tennis Association champ after winning a tournament earlier this month. Now to your forecast, some hazy conditions tonight. Hazy skies again tomorrow, worsening air quality in some spots for Tuesday. And then temperatures heating up into the 80s tomorrow. Could see some 90s as well before we cool off again by Wednesday. Right now, 76 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Got it. Here we go. With the John Curley Show. Thanks, everybody. It's great to be back. For those of you that are like, oh, why don't you take more time off, loser? Was it shame me into coming back to work?
There's a few of those.
I do miss not being here, but getting paid for my opinion. All right, here we go. Let's just dive into it. By the way, let's check in the Mount Cruiser Casino Resort text line, top of the show. I met a world-renowned saxophone player, and I said, Joe, wouldn't it be fun? Get him on the show, and then I'll play my sax. And Joe, I didn't play the saxophone. And then I said, and then you crapped on the idea. And what are the
of you
playing for him,
knocking the rust off while we have a professional?
Yeah.
I haven't tallied them yet, but keep your votes coming. Should John play the sax, which he hasn't seen in decades, in front of a world-renowned, world-famous studio saxophone player?
Marion Meadows.
Yes, Marion Meadows, who played with B.B. King. Who
Frank
else?
Sinatra.
Frank Sinatra.
Everybody.
Yeah. With that,
he would find it endearing.
You think so?
Yes. All right.
What's the number to vote?
1-888-973-5476. Don't send in ballots in the mail because the Trump administration is going to stop that. Reckoning for Boeing is now on Netflix. It's streaming. It started on Wednesday.
The real big shift was during the 787. I found that scrap parts were put back on the airplane for years and years. They were basically rotted. We'll never know how many of these parts made it to airplanes.
I just wanted to ask your opinion, man. You think they're safe? Would you fly on one?
No, I wouldn't fly on one of these planes.
When the quality of Boeing suffers, people die.
Merrill Myers, that's your voice on there. And before we do this, I know people that have been at Boeing for 30 years. Does this hurt you to be able to talk about Boeing this way?
Yeah, it's devastating.
Your mom worked there.
Yep. And my wife's father and grandfather.
Right. Generations of generations understood what Boeing was, right? Mm-hmm. The lazy bee. But that wasn't about the workers. What was that? Why did they call it the lazy bee?
I think it was just more of a joke.
Okay.
Yeah, a tease.
Right.
Yeah.
It built Washington, it built Seattle, and it built the Great Plains. And the old expression was, if it ain't Boeing, I ain't going.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's a great pride throughout for every plane that was made. I'm going to walk through. You tell me where I go wrong in this. So, Boeing then buys McDonnell Douglas. They merge together, right? And at that point, when the merger happens, McDonnell Douglas was always sort of a nickel and dime sort of organization, ran it like a business. Boeing was an engineering place. The price doesn't matter. It's the quality that counts. You get the two together, and then all of a sudden, that was sort of the beginning of the change of culture, because the prior CEO of McDonnell Douglas, he comes in, Harry Stonecipher, right? Yeah. And he said he was going to change the culture and make it, these are not his words directly, but he was basically going to watch the dimes, watch the nickels, and make it profitable. Then at a certain point, they take Boeing and they move to Chicago. The CEOs go to Chicago. Phil Conduit goes to Chicago. And then all of a sudden, that was the break. Why the move to Chicago with the CEOs changed dramatically the culture of Boeing?
Well, they really didn't have a clue about the airplane or the airplane culture. They didn't have the feel for making an airplane. They could make a Steinway piano to the spec and it would sound terrible, right? Because they didn't have the passion that the Boeing people do. So it's just another commodity to them. These are money people. These are not airplane people. We have not had an airplane CEO since Alan Mulally was like president.
Right.
That was the last airplane
But he wasn't
person.
he wasn't in there that long.
No, they passed him up for Jim McNerney.
Right.
And then Ford came calling.
Yeah.
You can't blame them.
No, good
going.
people.
Yeah.
And because also you're answering to the shareholders, not to the people.
Yeah.
So that then starts this separation. Did you see how far along? You'd been with them for 30 years. When did you start to notice that they're cutting corners and possibly safety and then costing lives?
First, it didn't really register, but I saw when McDonnell Douglas, the management model, blended with ours, Boeing had inherited a whole lot of lawsuits that never should have happened against managers from employees. So that told me that's not a good culture for an employee to work in.
Did you try to do anything? Did you speak to anybody about it? Were any of the people that had been there as long as you had, did they take their concerns to management?
About the merger? Not really. It was, let's wait and see. Just like they do with every new CEO. Well, let's give this guy a try.
Right.
And that's wearing real thin now. So
even when they come down and walk the line with everybody and shake hands and
say they bought a house in Broadmoor, and that's kind of sketchy too.
How about when they just sit down and just have a cup of coffee with everybody? Make you feel good?
Yeah. It's never happened to me. So.
Okay. All right. So then the break happens. The quality begins to go down. You start pointing out some of these things. In 2015, you start to notice some of the parts that are coming from scrap are now being possibly added to like a 737 landing gear. And you know what people say about you. They said, well, that never made it onto the plane. And the pieces that were scrapped that had red paint on them, those never made it on the plane. So, stop spreading rumors like this, Myers. You whistleblower, you troublemaker.
Yeah, actually, I was pretty inspired because Boeing they had the big, oh my God, the safety dance, and, they got the FAA involved. And at the very end of it, Boeing always overcommits, and then they never follow through. That's why whistleblowers don't care what Boeing has to say, because we've seen over a decade of willful commitment failure on the floor. And if anybody tries to implement what has been committed to in front of a Senate committee, they're going to get punished, retaliated against. And that happened to me.
What happened?
I was written up for getting faulty hydraulic systems from the 767 tanker, the Air Force tanker, out of stores. There were some bad ones that mechanics took them off the plane, didn't work, didn't fit, brought them right back to stores instead of turning them over to us to document and segregate. Mm-hmm. So it was a little cottage industry, and we lose traceability of bad parts and systems like that.
The whistleblower laws that were established with the federal government in Congress are to protect people like you.
They're to protect government employees, I'm pretty sure.
Nothing for you.
Not really.
Not in the private sector.
No, you can go to like Labor and Industries here in Washington State.
And does that fall under the umbrella protection for whistleblower?
I don't know. But all they're going to do is deal with Boeing legal and HR, and then the whistleblower gets marginalized, and they're kind of a malcontent.
Why did you come forward then? Why couldn't you just quietly just retire? Just like, the rest of your family, just go on, take the pension, don't cause problems for anybody else. Why'd you jump in there and do that, Myers?
Well, I never did blow the whistle. The New York Times came to me after the door plug blew off because I got forced out, and then I didn't want to just try to find a journalist because I couldn't trust. I didn't know who to trust. Are they going to write me off as a malcontent? So I just waited. I knew some event would happen. It was providential in my mind that, they'll come to me. And after the door plug incident with Alaska Airlines, I think I have some friends with big mouths on the inside because they called me. And then I interviewed with them and shared the data with them. And
from what I understand for the door plug, that it was sent to Kansas, right? There's some of their parts were being built there, and because they would send them out, they would be done there, and then they came back again, and the piece that was in Kansas didn't fit necessarily, comes back to Seattle. Walk me through that little bit of history.
Well, with the supply chain, Boeing procurement managers, they're called fulfillment now, I think like Amazon. If they're up against schedule for getting that installed or getting a plane delivery, they'll just call the supplier and say, get it up here by an unauthorized method, or the supplier will just send it up, document what the problems are, and send it up, and which is okay. It's okay to travel rejected parts as long as it's documented in quality systems. But with the hurry up, mechanics, inspectors are being pushed. There's a lot of improper stamping going on, saying work is the way it should be when it really ain't. And people are just rushed and they forget. So it wasn't bolted in.
Someone has to touch that. Someone has to touch that stamp. You know how the Tokyo system works, that anytime anybody on that line can pull that chain and stop the production. So a human being at Boeing, employed by Boeing, whose family or relatives or friends might be flying on one of those planes, are you telling me they put a stamp on that thing with their name on that thing and they know it's not right?
Sometimes, yes. Or the inspector on first shift did it, and he said it looks great, and I'm the second shift inspector. Boom. This is why after the Air India crash, there were many inspectors in the Boeing company that went into the system looking back. Did I do any work on that plane?
Yeah.
That's a guilty conscience.
You knew what happened to your friend John Barnett, right? So it was 2024. He goes and testifies. It was in South Carolina? Is that where it was? Yeah. And I think he had done 2 days of testimony. And on the third day, it was going to be even more damaging to Boeing. He doesn't show up. They find his body in a pickup truck. The door was locked. There is a single shot to his head. It is ruled as a suicide. And, of course, everybody immediately assumes that there's something else to it. The authorities say, no, the door was locked. We proved that it came from that handgun. We believe something resembling a suicide note. I think his family said, we'll accept the fact that it was a suicide, but we're going to hold Boeing responsible for putting him under such duress that led to him making this decision. So that's sort of the story. So you have him. And then you also have Joshua Dean, who it was less than 2 months later, at 45 years old, he gets seriously ill with MRSA infection, which he'd never had before, and it kills them. So both of these individuals, and I think you know both of them, did that also stop you from wanting to say anything?
Well, I never had the pleasure of meeting Joshua, but as far as saying something, I didn't even know John went down to South Carolina because I got put on second shift and then moved, and then we lost touch.
Okay.
So I heard about this at his passing.
But for you to come forward for the whistleblowing and for you to step up and say there's problems at Boeing.
Yeah, so I already agreed to do the interview, and I was talking with the New York Times reporter. He goes, now, you're going to have an option to either use your name or not, and just let me know what you want to do, because they'll do confidential.
Sure.
Yeah. And when I heard about John, I said, yeah, use my name. And, you can release the 15 years worth of data that I have shared with you.
Don't you have friends that were concerned for your safety?
Maybe quietly. I'll get some dark humor once in a while, or jokes or memes or something. But I'm sure there's some people. But the big thing is I have no legal action against Boeing or anybody right now.
Do you? It must be a weird feeling. I mean, to come out with this, knowing that it will hurt the company and possibly some of your friends and relatives, but at the same time, you feel a need to do this. You don't see yourself necessarily as a hero.
No, we're doing this to help the company. And with the whistleblower, the person that doesn't have his head on a swivel, it's a non-negotiable. You have no choice. And if you make too many friends in quality, you're really screwing up. You're not doing your job. So you have to be prepared to make people not like you. So,
what do you want to see happen to that company?
I would like to see the people that are involved in illegal activity prosecuted, and I would like to see the majority shareholders recommending airplane people for board membership, because you just have money people on the board. One of them might have flown a 747 once, but make sure you have airplane people on that board. And then the board can vote for the CEO, which is an airplane person, because it's a vicious cycle now.
Right.
With the hedge fund just saying, we recommend this person, Nikki Haley or whatever.
Right.
God knows who.
We're speaking with Merrill Myers, Boeing whistleblower. Freefall is the name of the Netflix show that has came out on Wednesday. You're featured quite prominently in there. So Boeing, for the future, and by the way, you probably have a tremendous amount of pension stock with Boeing, I'm assuming.
We've done, I think, no trading with Boeing stock options or anything.
Really?
Yeah.
So when it took that big dip a couple of years ago, didn't hurt you at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay. But the future for Boeing is about the pride of Boeing that you had seen and known in your bloodstream. Your mom worked there, and you knew your neighbors that worked there, and guy got in the car and they went to Boeing, and they're proud to be associated with Boeing. Do you think those people that are still there at Boeing hold their heads a little lower because of what has happened to Boeing nationally? Yes?
Yeah. Yeah, it's shameful, the management direction that it has gone, over the past decade.
So it's like a losing team over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I've said at our premiere in D.C., I was asked about the FAA. How are they at Boeing site? And I said it's like the Washington Generals getting their ass handed to them by the Harlem Globetrotters every day. They're ineffective, and Boeing management is ineffective.
But those FAA guys, when I understand, a lot of them are prior airplane people, and they just keep cycling them through. And then, do you also believe that money is so corrupting that they let stuff go because, this or that is not going to be that big of a deal? Because once you start digging into this, you can be in, Joe's conspiracy theory in no time at all, where there's way too much money involved, and the people that are passing off the money to make stuff happen, they don't fly Boeing, they fly a private jet. So what do they care?
Right. And the film talks about the incestuous relationship with the DOJ and Boeing lawyers and back and forth. It's a beltway thing there anyway. So
because there's so much tied to the state of Washington and Boeing, but not only that, the Defense Department's relationship with Boeing,
right?
And Patty Murray supported Boeing, and the Boeing Bank, which is, by the way, the bank. It's the bank that the federal government runs, and it's basically super duper sweetheart deals for Boeing. That we find. You ever seen you know about the Boeing Bank?
Oh,
it's a whole other story. No,
Okay.
that's not a conspiracy. Yeah, Joe.
Can you hang out for a couple more minutes?
Sure.
We have a couple follow-up questions.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Plus, also for those of you, and there's so many people that work at Boeing and Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line at 1-888-973-5476. I'll come on in. I'll speak with Mr. Myers more about that, and I'll tell you about the Boeing. How do you not know the Boeing Bank?
The BECU?
I guess you'd have to have money.
No, it's all federal stuff.
Okay.
Here comes Nate. Check it,
All right.
Nathan.
Seattle Sports has the update. Bellevue to Everett, 45 minutes. We're slow between Bellevue and Totem Lake, and then you're in the clear by the time you hit Bothell. Seattle to Everett, just 35 minutes. Scattered slowing between Shoreline and Mill Creek. Everett to Seattle, coming the other way, is only a 45-minute trip, half hour from Linwood. So a brief slowdown through Linwood, and then we're bumper to bumper from Ravenna down to I-90. North 5, scattered backups approaching the West Seattle Bridge or the Ship Canal Bridge. 25 minutes to get you through this. In Bellevue, South 405, we're bumper to bumper from Northeast 8th to Cold Creek Parkway. Then you'll begin to thin out. Bellevue to South Center, pushing 40 minutes. Federal Way to Tacoma, 20 minutes. South 5 is stop and go between State Route 18 and 54th in Fife. And on the water, the Edmonds Ferry Terminal reporting a 1-hour wait for drivers. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube and click subscribe to get fresh video content daily. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
All right, the man to see if you got a bad shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee is the guy that helped me with my hip. Thank you, Dr. Mark Wagner, Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I thought about him when I was flying back just yesterday because I didn't have any problems with my hips. Normally, I'm sitting on that plane for 5 hours coming from the East Coast, and I could barely walk when I get off the plane. But I had a stem cell procedure. Gosh, I don't know, maybe 8 months ago or something like that. I was one of the 20,000 stem cell procedures that Dr. Mark Wagner does. I am back in the game again. He's been in the game for about 30 years, and this is the guy to see, Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. You'll notice when you walk in there, beautiful office, really nice people that work there, and there's a bunch of jerseys on the wall of athletes that can call Dr. Wagner their doctor as well. So a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee, whatever it is that's bothering you, before surgery, before going under the knife, go see my doctor, who should be your doctor as well. drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
Charlie Harger.
I want to be a watchdog.
From Seattle's Morning News.
Somebody who is not accepting from the government at face value what they're telling you. I might not even be necessarily against a politician, but if I see an issue or a policy that I think are worthy of a conversation, I'm going to bring it up.
Hear Charlie's 7:35 commentary every morning on Seattle's Morning News.
You can watch all of Charlie's commentaries anytime on the KIRO Newsradio YouTube channel.
It's the Great Summer Sell-a-thon at the Spa Warehouse, and the deals are incredible. When the leaves turn and the temps fall, imagine sinking into your very own saltwater caldera spa. Bubbly, blissful warm water right in your own backyard. Our Summer Sell-a-thon means massive savings on in-stock models, so owning your dream hot tub is more affordable than ever. Plus, get interest-free financing through 2028. Visit today for the hot tub of your dreams. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
Are you looking to buy a house, but like everyone, you're priced out of the Bellevue, Kirkland, and Seattle market? Many buyers have the income, the credit, and the desire to own, but simply don't have the down payment, often at least $75,000 just for a starter home. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue with a great opportunity for home buyers. Introducing our Legacy Opportunity Loan. Legacy Group Capital has a select group of 100 new construction, single-family, and townhomes in the top Western Washington locations. Acquire a new construction home with no down payment, allowable closing costs paid, and a competitive rate. Yes, that's no down payment and some closing costs paid by Legacy. A wise man once said, the hardest part of winning in real estate is just getting in. And now you can with our Legacy Opportunity Loan. So get in the game.
Limited properties available to qualified Washington borrowers. Learn more about this limited opportunity at LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, LLC, and MLS ID 99045. Visit LegacyG.com for additional program details.
Summer is for going big.
Julio! Dead center field, solo home run, 4-0 Mariners.
Summer is for showing out.
Crawford, out of the glove, Emerson to first. What a play!
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Cal Raleigh with an RBI double. The big dumper comes through in the clutch.
Where else do you get 9 innings of eye-popping swings and snags? Plus fireworks that make your feet dance and your jaw drop. Oh yeah, and the guys have a dance of their own. A wind dance.
Party time at T-Mobile Park in the sunshine.
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
More Mariners Fireworks Night are on deck at T-Mobile Park. The next one is coming up on Friday, September 4th as the Mariners take on the A's. And it's a sing-along show presented by T-Mobile. Go to mariners.com to get your tickets and check out the rest of this year's fireworks lineup, plus all the biggest events down the home stretch.
877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Certain industries expose workers to hazardous chemicals. If you worked in a paper or pulp mill, or in aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and have a child born with birth defects, your child may be entitled to legal damages as a result of your exposure to such chemicals. Birth defects have been linked to toxic chemicals, metals, and solvents used in these industries. If your child was born with brain or spinal cord damage, organ or limb malformations, blindness, cerebral palsy, genetic damage, or other birth defects, and you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill, aircraft manufacturing, or painting, contact us now toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your children may be entitled to legal damages. If you're a past or present worker in a paper or pulp mill or aircraft manufacturing or painting at Boeing, and your child has a birth defect, call toll-free at 1-866-99-TOXIC. Your call is confidential. 1-866-99-TOXIC. Message authorized by Weinstein Cajano, 600 University Street, Suite 1620, Seattle, Washington.
Guys, if you have low energy or reduced drive, it could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, start with a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo. The U.S. Supreme Court is allowing President Trump's plan to restrict mail-in voting to move forward. The executive order calls for a federal citizenship list and directs the Postal Service to decide who gets the mail-in ballots. More from ABC's Devin Dwyer.
For now, the president can move forward with building that citizenship list, threatening state officials with prosecution, and working with the Postal Service for how states have to print their ballots.
Washington was one of 23 states that sued to block the order. We have reached out to the Secretary of State's office to see how today's decision may impact the midterms in November. Voter turnout from Washington's primary election are in. KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker reports.
Only 36% of Washington voters turned in a ballot this election. More than 68% of those voters returned their ballots in official ballot drop boxes. The total number of ballots accepted was 1.8 million.
The Pierce County Medical Examiner's Office now confirms a 10-year-old girl pulled from Lake Tapps in Pierce County this month has died. This man telling KIRO 7 TV about his efforts to save her.
First thing, I need to pull her up, but I need to surface up and catch her breath so that I can dive down again. So I move up and I yell to the crowd and say, I found her, and then I dive down again to grab her.
Pierce County deputy performed CPR on shore. The girl was rushed to a local hospital in critical condition. Back on August 16th, she died 5 days later. Washington state's cattle ranchers are firing back at President Trump's plan to allow tariff-free ground beef imports. The president announced that deal last week, saying importers are selling the beef at 25% below market price. Jack Field is the executive director of the Washington Cattle Feeders Association.
I think government interaction in a free market is always the worst action and decision that could be made. It's intended to assist the consumer, but it's something that certainly puts the U.S. producer at a greater risk.
Right now, the domestic cattle herd is at a 75-year low. Field says the industry needs incentives to rebuild, not cheap competition. The Mariners' rookie shortstop is done for the season. 21-year-old Colt Emerson will undergo surgery this week after dealing with ongoing inflammation in his left wrist. Emerson was placed on the injured list earlier this month after a difficult stretch at the plates. He was hitting just .190 with 8 home runs in about 70 games during his rookie season. Now to the real-time traffic desk at 4:32. Here's Nate Connors.
Thanks, Aaron. Everett to Marysville, taking 25 minutes. We're slow from 526 to 528. No blocking problems. Northbound 529 At the Union Slough, traffic comes to a halt. I'm guessing we have a new collision. It hasn't been reported yet, but you're backed up to the Snohomish River Bridge. Bellevue to Everett, 45 minutes. Seattle to Everett, just a 35-minute commute. Coming the other way, Everett to Seattle, just 45 minutes. Half hour from Linwood. You got a little slowing through Linwood. Nothing heavy, though. It does turn into a bumper-to-bumper backup in the U District at Ravenna down to I-90. North 5, scattered backups before the West Seattle Bridge or the Ship Canal Bridge. 25 minutes to get through all this. South 405, we're bumper to bumper from Northeast 8th and Bellevue to Cold Creek Parkway. Then you'll begin to thin out, but you're not in the clear till you get past the VMAC. Bellevue to South Center is at 40 minutes. And Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, 40 minutes. The south end is jam-packed from State Route 18 into Puyallup. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Now to your forecasts, looking at clear skies tonight, mixed in with a little bit of haze as well. Hazy skies tomorrow, worsening air quality in some spots with highs tomorrow in the upper 80s. Could see 90s in certain areas. Right now, 77 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
It starts on your street, in your home, with a problem you're struggling to solve. That's where KIRO 7 Investigates comes in. They show up, they ask hard questions, they get you answers. When your story is seen, change isn't just possible, it's already happening. Watch KIRO 7 News weeknights, 5 to 6:30 p.m. and at KIRO7.com/investigates.
Thank you, Joe. Well said, well read. Bucky's Auto Service Centers with 16 locations. Been around for 51 years? 52.
It was 1960.
Oh, don't make us do math. Long time.
Long time.
Bucky's Auto Service Centers. All right, continue our conversation, a fascinating conversation with Merrill Myers, Boeing whistleblower. Freefall is the name of the Netflix show that came out on Wednesday. What did you think? You think you're better looking in person?
Yes, much better.
Yeah, I know what the hell they did. They did bad lighting. They were jealous of you. You have a very, very long history with it. Your mom worked at Boeing. You were there for 30 years. And if you missed the very beginning of our interview together when I asked you the question, it must in a way hurt you because you're part of Boeing. And those guys and gals that worked at Boeing in the good years prior to McDonnell Douglas coming in, there was great pride. And as I said before, if it's not Boeing, I'm not going. There was a billboard put up in was 74 or something, with all the problems happening in Boeing, with the last ones leaving Seattle, turn out the lights. That's how powerful Boeing is. Yeah. It still has that power, even more so. A third of its revenue comes from the federal government. They just got a contract for an F-15. So when you have all of that money flowing into that company, and then when you start to have problems with Boeing, you get the sense that maybe there's too much money on the line and human lives can be lost because we've got to get this plane out. We've got to be able to get don't worry about, what might be a minor mechanical problem. And when you did the whistleblowing on this, have you heard from anybody at Boeing that started to say to you, why did you do this?
No, I just haven't heard from a lot of people. None of my co-managers have reached out and called me, and I worked with one for close to a decade.
You shocked by that?
Yeah, kind of.
Why?
Yeah. Just how are you doing? Why aren't you here? And then they were told what happened, and then they were instructed to coach people. Well, Merle decided to quit.
Okay.
So tell his employees and anyone else that asked that.
What's the truth, Merle?
I was given a choice. You can quit and work to the agreement of this severance package, or here's 12 things you have to fix. You fix them in 30 days or I'll fire you. And that's kind of a common practice, and that's addressed in the movie.
If somebody does, make a complaint, does it affect their career?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they can get moved or they can get written up, or a lot of the whistleblowers or potential whistleblowers, their performance is downgraded. Then they're laid off, and it's nice and tidy.
Right, because we have a layoff coming up in 6 months or whatever it is. We got to but we'll bring you back, maybe or maybe not. But doesn't every year everybody sign the Boeing Code of Conduct?
They do, yeah. And then it's a pretty simple one. It hasn't changed since 2024. You have 9 bullets, and bullet 2 is I will prioritize safety, quality, and integrity above profit, schedule, or competitive edge. Bullet 8, I will promptly report any illegal, improper, or unethical conduct to my management or through appropriate channels. you get penalized for either of those. And 9 is I will never retaliate against or punish anyone who speaks up to report a concern. So the Speak Up program after the MAX crash, I was able to have a lot of corporate investigations launched against managers for unauthorized movement of parts on airplanes, bad parts, scrap parts. Once Speak Up started, everyone started seeing my name after investigation who in the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
And then I was told by I was given an ethics advisor just so I, make sure I didn't get into trouble or inadvertently go to the press. And the ethics advisor said, Merle, you're going to be singled out and made an example of. And, and nothing changed. I kept doing what I was doing until the very end.
Made an example of in what way?
Punished, fired. And I was a manager, so I had no protection. So I was a quality manager for 15 years.
What did that feel like when you heard that?
Yeah, it was a shot to the solar plexus. Yeah, because I thought I had 20 days or 19 days after I signed the agreement to leave. Yeah. And then, of course, everything was cut off, and I was texted then by my senior manager, I can't come on the property. I can never work for a supplier that comes on the Boeing property and all that. So it was done by text.
But you must have known because you were in there. You started seeing the problems in 2015. You knew that they weren't going to be like, oh, thanks, Merle. We had no idea. Well, thanks for bringing this to our attention. Yeah, here's a promotion.
Yeah, it was years past that. And the ones that hustle parts that are now directors and VPs, they were hustling parts. I say stealing when they should have been buying when they were first-line managers. That's how they get where they are today.
Did the executives know, I mean, the C-suite folks, did they know that there's parts going on these planes that shouldn't?
Yeah, and I've heard one vice president in a daily stand-up meeting, I don't care how you get this part to the airplane, you get it to the airplane. There were mechanics, engineers, inspectors there. It was a daily thing on the floor. Parts would get stolen. A senior manufacturing manager, the flap on that tanker was stolen from my plane back here. And VPs attend this meeting. No one cares. No VP.
Does it jeopardize the integrity of the aircraft?
Oh, yeah. Well, and you don't know what part or what system or assembly is on what airplane. They lose traceability. And that's quality 101. You know where every serialized part is on that airplane. They can't do that. Every plane is made different. Because of the 787s sitting around for 3 years, that was a petri dish for cannibalism for managers, stealing parts off other planes for theirs.
Somebody could say, well, you don't like the unions, or you do like the union, you don't like what's happening in South Carolina, so you would be one of those guys that would put a wrench in somewhere and leave a wrench or something like that in order to screw up the plane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can say that. I've got documentation for a year going back to 2003 that says differently.
I hesitate to ask this question because I don't want to freak people out. So don't tell me which plane it is, but there are certain planes, if you walked up to the gate, where you'd see it ahead of time as you go to fly somewhere. And if you knew that it was that plane, you would not fly that plane?
Oh, sure. Two Boeing models I would not fly. I don't give advice to people what they shouldn't fly, but I'll say which ones I won't fly on. And that's the 787 and the 737 MAX.
But if you look at the 737 MAX and the amount of miles that thing flies, it is the workhorse now for Boeing. Mm-hmm. This is the plane. So, of course, if it's up more and doing more miles, then you're going to have a chance, the possibility for some sort of defect, right? Just simply it's in the game more. Mm-hmm. So somebody could statistically say to you, Myers, listen, but if you look at the total number of miles flown, that thing is a safe aircraft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and you're nodding yes.
Well, in the MAX, you should not have had 346 deaths from 2 crashes. So they throw a lot of planes out there, and that's great. Those are 346 people that should be alive. And then you have, I can't remember how many on the Air India crash. But not seeing problems brought up before the MAX crashes and problems that are still around today because they just get kicked down the road, delay. That's a big reason why.
The one of the crashes that involved the MAX, people have pointed to the pilots not having enough training, 136 hours. I don't know how many hours the co-pilot had, and they said it could have been easy. 2 simple switches would have changed the trim that they were fighting against on that one. So that one's in dispute, but the other one obviously was a problem with what they did. I'd read that it was sort of you could do a paper up, build the plane from the paper up, which would be tremendously costly for Boeing, or take the 737 and start putting parts on it and make it sort of, people have described it as a Frankenstein plane, and not in a good way, by adding pieces to the plane. And that was the problem with the MAX as they see it. And do you agree?
Yeah, they, like I told Joe, they have 4-decade-old systems alongside state-of-the-art systems. So, yeah, they just did not, it's not a new model. It's not an upgraded model like Alan Mullally insisted on for the 777.
Right. Do you think, Merrill Myers, final thought, this Boeing whistleblower, the Free Fall, that's the name of it, comes out, it's on Netflix. Do you think any of this has any long-term positive effect on Boeing?
Positive effect?
Meaning that things begin to change. That somebody says...
No, not with this leadership. They are incapable of turning things around. And we saw that with Dave Calhoun in front of the Senate committee. He thought it was all done. And he wouldn't know what real systems problems are. He's not an airplane man. He's a money man.
And until they get back to being engineers... and they tell the money people, don't worry, you let us do our parts and the money will come.
Yeah, engineers now at Boeing are being told, do not submit your best work, which means to the specification, because then they're going to have to put in writing why it's rejected.
Oh, my God.
So,
you know what? This just makes me want to buy my own airplane.
Every complaint I've ever had, or everyone I went after, I always provided a solution, as does the Foundation for Aviation Safety.
Merrill Myers, we will see you. You'll be there in Free Fall. That is the name of the Netflix show, but we certainly appreciate your time.
Yeah, and I'd like to vote yes to you playing the sax.
Well, I call some people want to jump out of an airplane. But all right, Mr. Myers, thank you. Here comes Nate. Check your traffic, Nathan.
Thanks, John. This one brought to you by 425 Magazine. Up in Everett, whatever was blocking northbound 529 at the Union Slough has cleared from our last report. The backup is quickly thinning out, but you're still bumper to bumper there at the Snohomish River Bridge. South 5 solid from Lake City Way to I-90. North 5 scattered backups before the West Seattle Bridge up to the Ship Canal Bridge. Westbound 520, you're going to jam up at the Arboretum over to I-5. Westbound 90, stop and go from West Mercer Way to I-5. In Bellevue, South 405 is solid from Northeast 8th to 112th. They're heading through Newcastle. Bellevue to South Center is a half hour. Seattle to Federal Way, a half hour. We're already starting to thin out on this route, so we're crowded from about 405 down to South 260th, but you're close to the speed limit through most of this. Tacoma to Olympia looking great at just 35 minutes with no significant backups along the way. 425 Magazine, the East Side's magazine, inside, outside, East Side. It's 425. Find out more at 425magazine.com. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Again, talking about Dr. Mark Wagner. Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. When you go to see him, if you got a bad shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee, you realize there's about 20,000 other people that have already been in there. And here's the feeling you get with Wagner. You feel like he's a coach. Because he himself is an athlete. He's done all sorts of triathlons, Ironman with his kids. He's always biking, swimming. He's always competing in something. And when you meet him, you're like, this guy wants me to be back up on my feet again. You don't have to be a superstar athlete. Just somebody that enjoys being able to go for a walk without pain. Play tennis, maybe pick up pickleball. Golf, you've had to give that up because you just have some real problems with the ankle, the wrist, the knee, the shoulder, whatever it is. And you get the sense that Wagner wants you back in that game again. And he's with you every step of the way. And it's a 90-minute outpatient procedure, so it's not like a big deal. You're not going to be going under the knife, dealing with some sort of surgeon and then anesthesia and all the rest of it. It's your own stem cells. Possibly be the answer for you. Go see drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved solved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You are ready for a new kitchen. And after all this time, do you really want to settle for a box store kitchen? At Sound Kitchen and Bath, you can have your dream kitchen with custom cabinets, gorgeous stone countertops, and luxurious fixtures. Our design team will create kitchen and bath designs with products that are beautiful and timeless. We come to your home and make it easy for you. Sound Kitchen and Bath, soundkitchenandbath.com.
Hello, sweltering Seattle. John Curley here. Is your home staying cool? Are you losing sleep because it's just too hot? At Home Comfort Alliance, the goal is not to sell you a new system. It's to fix the one that you have. Repair first, replace only if it truly makes sense, saving you time and money. If your system's done, a heat pump gives you both cooling and heating for year-round comfort. Get real pricing in 60 seconds at HomeComfortAlliance.com. Call the comfort people. Home Comfort Alliance.
I want a woman. I want a big girl.
See the hysterical Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias when he takes the stage at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, Saturday, August 29th at 5:30 and 9:30 p.m.
This way, we both can agree on the temperature of the thermostat.
He's sold out stadiums around the world, and now he's coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort on August 29th. Get tickets before they're gone to laugh out loud with Gabriel Iglesias at muckleshootcasino.com.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years guaranteed? Now through August 24th, new Xfinity customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi this summer before it disappears. Just $50 a month for 5 years. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, it keeps you protected from online threats. And get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable. Learn more at Xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
Have you been putting off remodeling your kitchen because of the stress, mess, and cost? Stop waiting. Heritage Homecraft makes it so easy and affordable to update your kitchen. Hi, Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. We're teaming up with KIRO Newsradio to give you a chance to win the Fall Kitchen Facelift. It's your chance to win $5,000 towards your kitchen refacing project, plus a $500 Visa gift card for new kitchen gadgets. For full contest rules and to enter, visit mynorthwest.com/win.
This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our summertime savings event means 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months, backed by our unbeatable warranties. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line for the John Curley Show, and you coming along. Thank you, one and all. People were texting when we were talking to Merrill Myers about Boeing. 30 years in there, and then finally couldn't take it anymore. Did some whistleblowing, and you can watch him in a Netflix show. And you can tell it bothers him, but at the same time, he realizes that somebody needs to be accountable for this because lives could be lost.
Well, lives were lost, and that's part of the reason he came forward. John Barnett, who was found dead in his truck right before his hearing, that was a friend of his. He'd worked with him for years, and that was the turning point for him. When John was found dead, he said, I want my name on this too.
Right. He did not know Joshua.
No, the other guy.
Hold on, I'm going to get his name. That's not fair to not have his name. He was also found, Joshua Dean, that 2 months later, 45-year-old Dean comes down with MRSA infection and then dies shortly therereafter.
And I asked Merle point blank before we went on the air because I wanted to make sure that if he was uncomfortable with it, we didn't ask him the question. But I said, when Barnett was found dead, and we covered that story when it happened, and we're it's morbid, but our rabbit hole kind of sensibility said, oh, wait a minute, this is odd timing.
All that sort of stuff.
He's found dead the day before he's supposed to testify in this big lawsuit against Boeing.
Yeah.
We speculated, was he killed? Was it a hit? So we asked Merle before we went on the air, is there any part of you that thought maybe this was that he was murdered and it wasn't suicide? And Merle's answer was, whatever the family's stance on it is what I agree with, and that will be my answer.
Right. And the last thing I'd seen is the family said that we'll accept the suicide, but we believe, and I think they still have a suit against Boeing, that they put him under the duress that caused him to decide to take his own life. Right. The facts, if you take them as they're written, it was that the door was locked, the window was up, there was a single shot. They believe, obviously, since they're saying it's a suicide, that Burnett took his own life, that the fingerprints and everything else show that. And then they said there was something that they had found resembling a note. So that's the story. But when you have a company that is so directly tied into the government, and there's so much money, billions of dollars that move back and forth, that's when people are always looking around into that sort of suspect of, really? Just seems a little too convenient.
Day he scheduled to testify.
And what state of mind was he in?
Yeah.
The same thing with Epstein, right? Well, okay. Here comes Nate checking traffic. Nate.
Thank you, Johnny. Let's see. Olympia, looks like we've got a new collision westbound 101 near Crosby Boulevard. This has traffic stacked up in both directions of I-5 approaching 101. Otherwise, Tacoma to Olympia is a really smooth commute this afternoon, taking just 35 minutes. You're going to run into a little backup there, Pacific Avenue and Lacey, down to our backup at Highway 101. Otherwise, that whole drive is wide open. Here in Seattle, South 5 is jamming up. Right around Lake City Way in the downtown, which isn't bad for this time of day. North 5 jams at the West Seattle Bridge. Scattered backups from there up to the Ship Canal Bridge. South 405 is packed from 520 down to the VMAC. North 405 already clearing out. You're a little slow through the Renton S curves, but nothing heavy here. Seattle to Federal Way is also thinning out. You're slow from about 178th there in South Center down to South 260th. Our Valley Freeway is, let's see, we're down to a 40-minute commute, but looks like we may have a new collision right next to Emerald Downs. It's I'm seeing traffic jam up there, but I've yet to receive any reports on this. And otherwise, the rest of our commute is looking at a very Monday light commute. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear G and Ursula, weekdays 9 to noon.
Starbucks is going to stop covering GLP-1 medications for weight loss. If you're on it, you know that these drugs per month can be like up to $1,000 if you don't have coverage.
When have we ever believed that pharmaceutical companies or any other company is going to make less profit to help the people out?
Watch live or later on the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sleep Number's new collections are designed to adapt to the changing nature of your life and your sleep needs. Whether it's the personalized comfort of the Comfort Mode mattress, the targeted pressure relief of the Comfort Next mattress, or the Climate Collection that actively cools or warms to help you fall asleep and stay asleep.
And now, all beds are on sale during our biggest sale of the year. Save 25% on the new Comfort Next Luxe, plus free delivery on any mattress. Ends Monday, only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
Pet owners, don't settle for vinyl or laminate floors. Pet Decorator developed beautiful wide plank, highly scratch and stain resistant, genuine wood floors designed for pet owners. Made from the finest American hardwoods with a waterproof core. Pet Decorator wood flooring is so pretty, your pet will be proud to pee on it. Pet Decorator floors are available at Sound Kitchen and Bath. PetDecorator.com.
It's the Great Summer Sellathon at the Spa Warehouse, and the deals are incredible. When the leaves turn and the temps fall, imagine sinking into your very own saltwater caldera spa. Bubbly, blissful, warm water right in your own backyard. Our Summer Sellathon means massive savings on in-stock models, so owning your dream hot tub is more affordable than ever. Plus, get interest-free financing through 2028. Visit today for the hot tub of your dreams. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
KIRO News Radio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO News Radio, then subscribe.
Summer's here, and it's the perfect time to tell you that Integrity Roofing and Construction has been serving and supporting our Puget Sound communities for 10 years. If your roof is aging, storm damage, or just ready for an upgrade, now's the perfect time to schedule your free consultation. With products that last longer and perform better, Integrity's team brings full transparency so you know exactly what your home needs before you spend a dime. And Integrity has locations from Issaquah to Sequim to Everett and Gig Harbor. Visit IntegrityRC.com. That's IntegrityRC.com right now. Integrity Roofing and Construction, where doing the right thing matters.
Summer is for letting it rip.
Swung on and missed, ripped it right by it. 7 scoreless innings. Marvelous Miller again.
Summer is for showing out.
Swing and a miss. Woo, 6 up and 6 down.
Summer is for Mariners baseball.
Logan Gilbert, he's knocked down a dozen in a row.
So call your favorite Walter and head to T-Mobile Park because our pitchers are rolling. From George Kirby to Senor Smoke.
Up in the attic at 101. Nothing but the Express tonight for Andres Munoz.
Matilda would be proud. Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
Don't miss out on another great interleague series at T-Mobile Park. Julio Rodriguez and the Mariners are squaring off against Bryce Harper and the Philadelphia Phillies. And the action continues tomorrow night at 6:40 and Wednesday afternoon at 1:10 with a special midweek matinee. Get your tickets for this marquee matchup at Mariners.com.
There are 5 things money can do for you: growth, liquidity, cash flow, protection, and tax advantages. Don't miss an opportunity because your current retirement plan only focuses on 2 or 3 of them. Hi, Jeff here with Madrona Financial and CPAs. Don't settle for a partial plan. Get the real deal by requesting your no-cost Madrona analysis today and discover what you may be missing. Call 833-673-7373 right now to request your analysis. That's 833-673-7373.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News.
Stephanie Officer. Officials in Nevada today providing an update on the Hawk Fire. It has already scorched more than 15,000 acres and is now 25% contained. Chief Richard Edwards with the Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District.
We do know that the fire was human caused. We do not know if it was intentional or unintentional. And so the investigators are still working through that right now. More than likely, this fire will be classified as undetermined.
It is a mystery, like something from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. People climbing out of New York City manholes. In the latest incident, 3 people were caught on camera emerging near Manhattan's Penn Station. Ew. Similar incidents also reported in Brooklyn and Queens. ABC's Aaron Katursky.
These could be urban scavengers looking for valuables, but the city says sewers can contain numerous hazards, including noxious and potentially deadly gases, unstable surfaces, flooding risks, and confined spaces.
This is ABC News. Meat lovers hope for a beef price drop as a ban on the importation of Mexican cattle into the U.S. expires.
The embargo was enacted to prevent the spread of potentially deadly New World screwworm larvae in U.S. cattle herds. Now that the ban is being lifted, at least in a limited way,
the laws of supply and demand are fully in play.
Tracy Tomasic is with the Texas Farm Bureau.
If we have less supply, it gets more expensive.
With imports increasing, he says the price should begin to come down. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
In Florida, a mother and her 2-year-old daughter were killed over the weekend after officials say they were struck by lightning in front of their home near Fort Lauderdale. Neighbors called 911 after discovering their bodies on the ground. the pair being rushed to local hospitals but were pronounced dead shortly after. Country music icon Dolly Parton opening up on social media, saying she's doing well after an infection related to kidney stones forced her to cancel several planned shows in Las Vegas. I'm Stephanie Officer, ABC News.
Coming up, a quintuple murder suspect from Oregon found dead in Enumclaw. We'll hear from the city's police chief after Nate Connors at the traffic desk.
And it's brought to you by Wilcox Farms. Olympia, that collision westbound 101 at Crosby Boulevard is cleared. Still got traffic backed up on the I-5 in both directions, but those backups are quickly thinning out. Otherwise, Tacoma to Olympia, you're looking great at just a 35-minute commute. Over to the Valley Freeway, southbound 167, just past South 277th in Kent. Collisions on your right shoulder. It was blocking for a bit, and traffic starts to slow at South 212th to the scene. Here in Seattle, North 5, scattered backups from the Michigan curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. South 5 is bumper to bumper from Ravenna down to I-90. On the east side, South 405, we're bumper to bumper from Northeast 8th to 112th. Bellevue to South Center, plan on a half-hour commute. And if, Everett to Marysville is a 20-minute commute, you're still slow from 526 to 528, but nothing heavy here. For a convenient, healthy snack on the go, look for ready-to-eat Wilcox hard-boiled eggs. Find Wilcox eggs at Costco, Metro Market, Safeway, and other local grocers. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Granillo. Still no answers as to why a man suspected of killing 5 people in rural Oregon was found dead in Enumclaw. The police say Benjamin Charles Park was located yesterday inside a pickup truck. Enumclaw Police Chief Tim Floyd tells KIRO 7 TV his officers tracked down Park behind a Safeway.
They surrounded the car with guns drawn and started doing what we would call a surround and call out. After about 30 minutes with no movement, no response from him, officers approached again with the use of a ballistic shield.
He says Park took his own life. Oregon authorities say he knew his victims, but no motive has been released so far. Seattle police are investigating the death of a 1-year-old baby boy. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports the child's mother is under arrest.
Seattle police and medics were called to an apartment near South Grand Street and Rainier Avenue South in the Atlantic neighborhood just after 12:30 Sunday afternoon for an unresponsive child. They performed CPR, but the child was pronounced dead at the scene. Here's SPD Detective Brian Pritchard.
Narcotics may have been a contributing factor of child's death. The medical examiner will determine the cause and manner of death.
The baby's mother was arrested for investigation of manslaughter. The medical examiner will determine the exact cause of death. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
You'll see tighter security this weekend at Seattle Center for Panda Fest. That's a celebration of Asian food and culture. Organizers say they are stepping up security measures after that fatal Bite of Seattle shooting. More from KIRO 7 TV's Tyra Majors.
Festival founder Boo Boo Shu is expecting nearly 25,000 people over the course of the festival.
This year we have over 50% local vendor to come and support us.
But after July's deadly shooting at Seattle Center during the Bite of Seattle festival, security is taking on an even bigger role this year. Festival goers can expect new security screening at every entrance, including bag checks and open gates metal detector wanding.
And you will need a ticket to get inside as well. Now to your forecast. Some hazy skies for tonight and again tomorrow, worsening air quality. Warm to hot tomorrow, plenty of 80s to near 90s. Milder on Wednesday with some chances for rain as the week goes on. Right now, 78 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Bang! Here we go with the John Curley Show. Thank you, one and all, for your participation in the show. You're just staying physically, mentally, and emotionally involved. Important. 1-888-973-5476. Teeny tiny lady will choose one letter of the day, non-transferable. Greatest honor to be bestowed upon you by a woman in a jar. Well, here comes a certain someone. That's how he's known in Olympia. A certain someone. Is that you, Todd Myers?
According to some, yes.
Coming to us without your lovely face, because you're in Orlando, Florida right now.
That is correct.
Are you down there at some big nerd conference or something?
Huge nerd conference.
Oh,
nerd fest.
You guys are like, let's all go out tonight. We'll
be doing quadratic equations later.
Okay. I tell you the time when we were kids, my dad wanted to take us out to a movie, and we went to Orlando, which is kind of a crappy town because Disney was there, but they didn't do everything else. And we're driving down the street. He goes, well, there's a movie theater. Let's go see them. We pulled up, and you know what? There was a double feature, Todd. And I don't know if it's still there or not. It was Black Mama, White Mama, and Chicks and Chains.
All right. You had a very open-minded father.
Oh, we didn't go in. Let's talk about the fires that are now ravaging Washington State. There's more than 750 fires that have been going. And the Trump administration decided they were going to get rid of what the Clinton administration put in place, which was basically the federal government will determine that there's a roadless rules area. That the thinking was if you build a road, then people could go there, that loggers would move in there, and that could cause problems. So they said, no, we're going to set this up. There's all these areas, no roads will be built. Then you come along because then the Trump administration changes what the Clinton administration had put in place. And you're saying what when it comes to building roads or not building roads in areas where there's forest?
Yeah, there is some argument that keeping intact areas of wilderness makes sense for wildlife, and so that's why. And building roads is expensive. So the idea was to take the roadless areas that we had and prevent new roads from being built in there. The Trump administration is now proposing, and hasn't decided, but is proposing to remove those restrictions on roadless areas to allow some roads and some activity built in there. And as you can imagine, some groups like the Sierra Club and then the governor are saying that this is horrible and it's going to destroy the planet. Kim Schreier, who's a congresswoman, tweeted out, how horrible this was, that we were doing this. The problem is that in Kim Schreier's district, there is quite literally a forest fire that is ripping through two of those roadless areas. And that's the problem is that we have gotten to the point where in many of these roadless areas, it's not pristine forest and habitat. It is dead and dying timber that is fire prone. The largest forest fire in the state right now, which is 144,000 acres, is also in two roadless areas. So the simple fact is it costs a lot to go into these areas because roads are expensive. The value of the timber is very low. It costs you more to transport it and cut it than you get from the value. So there's not a lot of reason to actually harvest in these areas unless you are trying to remove fire-prone forests. And that's the reason that it makes sense to give some flexibility to the Forest Service to go into these areas and try to restore them so that we don't have these massive catastrophic forest fires where we have just, lots of trees standing waiting to burn.
You at a certain point, you and the Sierra Club do agree, because you look at the numbers and you say, if the roads are built, there's more access to those areas. Therefore, individuals go in there, they do campfires, smoke cigarettes, whatever else that goes in there, or the vehicle starts a fire. And you even looked at the numbers. You said if there's roads in the forest, there is more likely that there will be a fire. But then at the same time, it seems for me, Todd, that as I read through Washington Policy Center and the study that you did on this, you're saying manage the forest, manage the ground, manage the fallen timber that's in there. And if it means having to build a road to go in there and do that, it's really about management. And you don't like necessarily the federal government coming down with a broad decree of this entire area cannot have any sort of management of it. Am I explaining it correctly?
Yeah, and what's going to happen, frankly, in a lot of these places, if they do build a road to go get it, what they will then do is either block off that road or remove the road or abandon the road or make it difficult to get in there. So there's not going to be a lot of access. One of the arguments that you hear is, well, the vast majority of fires start near forest roads. And that's certainly true, right? Most fires are human caused. But those fires also are quickly put out because firefighters can get to them quickly. The largest fires that we have in the state are actually in roadless areas because you have these dead forests. There's no access to go in and fight them. So I think the argument that you hear all the time about, well, most fires are started near roads is misleading. It's sort of like saying, well, gasoline actually doesn't impact fires because most fires start on the match. Well, it's like, okay, but, gasoline does help move fires along. So, look, I think that there is a lot of on the Trump administration. When you read their report, they actually talk about how this will, increase timber harvesting and things like that. I think that's simply wrong too. I think both sides are exaggerating the impact of this. In reality, the number of roadless areas that the Forest Service is going to go into is pretty small because it's expensive, and the Congress doesn't have a lot of money to spend on this. They will go into it when it is critical, but they're not going to go into a lot of these areas because it just doesn't make a lot of sense.
In the state of Washington, you have pointed out numerous times that they're pretty chintzy on the money they're supposed to be spending on forest management.
That's exactly well. In fact, the legislature had promised over the course of 6 years that they would spend a certain amount of money on forest health, on improving the health of these fire-prone forests. And after 4 years, they just said, yeah, we give up. We're not going to do it anymore. They broke their promise. And then we had a big fire year, and they're like, oh, actually, we should keep doing this. And then they came back and did. But, the problem is that we do have a huge problem in the health of our forest, or lack of health. There's this article I share almost every year where in 2003, when I worked at the Department of Natural Resources, I went out into the forest and took a reporter and said, look, this is going to be a huge problem in the future. And here I am, 23 years later, still sharing that same article because people still have not come to grips with the fact we need to do something about unhealthy forests. And the smoke that we're seeing this year and that we've seen almost every summer recently is a result of that lack of attention to these unhealthy forests.
Well, I know that we are doing an amazing job in the state of Washington by reducing the CO2 and single-handedly saving the planet, as we have collected $4.3 billion from every single one of us as anybody puts gas in their car. How many of these forest fires, with the 750 that are burning now, it must put a bit of a dent in the great success we have reducing CO2. How do we manage that part of those numbers?
Yeah, exactly. People don't like to talk about the fact that when all these forests go up in smoke, right, that's putting a lot of carbon into the atmosphere. The argument that you hear on the other side is, well, but then we replant and that regrows and that reabsorbs the carbon. But if you're trying to reduce CO2 emissions and you're trying to do it now, letting forests burn and saying, well, at some point in the future, those forests will regrow and reabsorb it, I think is sort of absurd. The other thing is just simply the cost. You can spend a limited amount of dollars to prevent forest fires rather than a massive amount of dollars to, later fight those forest fires. And when I was working on I was a public information officer on a forest fire in the 2000s, and the forest fire was in an area where there was a spotted owl circle. Oh, yeah. I guarantee that spotted owl did not live through that fire. So there's lots of reasons to reduce those fires: threat to community, CO2, impact on wildlife. Like, let's go in and be smart about this and stop freaking out about that we may go into one or two roadless areas. Because we need to do something about the unhealthy forests there.
I think the shocking news is that you used to work for the government.
I did. I need one more year, and I actually get a government pension. How about that?
How good. I look forward to paying it. I saw that your name was mentioned in Axios' report that the writer had found that when the Department of Ecology said, oh, we've collected all this money, and look at all the amount of CO2 we've reduced, and then you brought to their attention, no, I did the math, and you guys are off by a percentage of, I don't know, it was 80 or whatever the percentage was, that they had said they
97%.
97%. So they said, look at all the good stuff we did. You looked at it and said, no, actually, we're going to knock a whole bunch of zeros off. It's 97% inaccurate. This is the real number. That story came out, and then the Department of Ecology wrote to Ferguson saying, hey, we should make a correction. We should probably do something. But then it took from the and sometimes near December, near the end of December, to a certain point in January, for them finally to be able to say, yes, here's the correction. The story that Axios looks at and says they want to know, did the Ferguson folks not allow the correction to come out right away? The Department of Ecology said, this looks really, really bad. This guy Myers, a certain someone, has presented the fact that we really screwed up the math. We need to respond to this right away. Is there anything to the story that it took so long for the Ferguson people to finally allow the Department of Ecology to correct their mistake?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely correct. And I think what happens, especially when you get new administrations, like the Ferguson administration, they like to try to clamp down, and they like to try to, say, okay, all communications go through us. And so I think it was just a matter of them wanting to control the messaging and, make sure nothing made them look bad, which I think is strange because it wasn't their mistake. It wasn't, Bob Ferguson didn't do this. It was a mistake in the bureaucracy in the Department of Commerce and the Department of Ecology. And ultimately, they actually didn't even release the correction until I published my report.
Oh.
I emailed the Department of Ecology in December, and then I emailed them the day before my report was going to come out and said, here's my report. If you have any comment, let me know because this is going out tomorrow. And so then I published it. And then finally that afternoon is when they said, okay, yes, let's go ahead and respond. So, but yeah, I think what's interesting is that the Department of Ecology still won't admit that I was the one who found the problem. They say, oh, no, Commerce found the problem on their own. It's like, no, Commerce found the problem because I alerted them to it. So they still, and your joke about a certain someone, the Department of Ecology doesn't want to use my name in their emails because if somebody does a disclosure request on my name, that way they don't have to release emails that don't have my name in it. So they referred to me on a couple of cases as just a certain someone to try to avoid disclosure, but I got them anyway.
Right, because if they did file a freedom of information request and they give me everything that has the word Todd Myers in it that goes back and forth between government employees, they could say some nasty stuff about you, and that's what they're trying to avoid. I got to tell you, I was flying back from Alabama, and I watched Paul Guppy there at the Washington Policy Center. You guys do such a great job. I highly recommend that people go to YouTube, subscribe to it. He runs through a list of stuff, so I don't want to throw a curveball at you, but I'm pretty sure you can handle this. The piece that was done on the Family and Medical Leave Act and what they found with the Family and Medical Leave and where the tax started and where it's going. And Paul points out, I think it was work that was done by, I forget who did it in there with you guys. She looked at it and she said, now it's moving up to, is it going to be 2%? That 2% of you? Or, okay, so it starts out at I think it's 0.4. And now, within a few years, that's money that you have taken out of your paycheck directly. It then goes to the government, and then the government, you decide you want to take some time off to spend with whatever your husband or you've got some, family situation, or you just need some mental health. It is the rich folks, the top of the economic ladder, that take advantage of it, while the majority of people, those that are in, a lower quadrant of people middle class and lower in the middle class, they're the ones paying in, but they can't afford to take it. But the rich people take it, and it's now up to 2% and will be continuing to climb because, as Paul points out from the work done at Washington Policy Center, there is no trust fund. There is no, that's in the trust fund. We put this money aside and the money is not there anymore. There was never there. There was never a trust fund. And they predict that this number will continue to go up. This tax on you for people to be able to take advantage of the Family Leave Act. You weren't surprised by the fact that it's gone from 0.4 to 2% and it'll continue to climb?
No, because it was they already said when they first passed it that wasn't enough. I mean, they immediately said, "Oh, this fund is bankrupt and we need to raise the rates." What's interesting is that there is a claim that we don't have an income tax in the state. But what we have is a, quote, payroll tax. So it's like we're taking 2% of your income, but that's not an income tax. It's a payroll tax. And so people in the state who think that, that the income tax that they've passed is not going to hit them or that payroll taxes won't go up, they have already said that they are going up. And that's just one of the payroll taxes. That's the family medical leave. There is also another one, the long-term care, of course. They're
Right.
talking about increasing that one as well. So, yeah, they're coming for your paycheck. If you think that this is about, the millionaires and billionaires, you are fooling yourself. They are planning to raise your taxes.
Yeah, as Elizabeth knew that did the work. But what they'd say to you is, yeah, but we're taking a little piece of it. We're putting it away for you. So if you decide you need to take some time off, we'll be able to pay you, and you'll be able to have that. So it's not really a tax. It's a benefit for you. It's a benefit for the medical leave.
Then let me set aside my own 2% for that. Don't take it and give it to someone else. And as you point out, the people who are benefiting are the wealthy. The people who don't need it and people who are workers, they're the ones who aren't using it. So we are taking from working class folks and giving to the wealthy.
Right, and it's 2%, so $2 of every $100, but that adds up after a while. Yeah, you're right. It's not exactly an income tax, but it's just a backdoor tax. But again, they're there to help you. They're going to have some money set aside when you go into, long-term care. Plus, they're going to have money when you decide you just need to just have some special time with that special someone. Oh, sounds like you're on the teacups at the Disneyland.
It's always a party at the nerd conference.
All right. Thank you. I'll let you get back to nerding around. Thanks, Todd Myers, Washington Policy Center.
Always nice to chat with you.
There he goes, a certain someone. Here comes Nate checking traffic.
All right, I thought it was an ice cream truck. KIRO Newsradio App has the update. Overall, it's a Monday-like commute. The biggest backups right here through downtown Seattle. So let's start with that. North 5, scattered backups from the Michigan Curve to the Ship Canal Bridge. Only 20 minutes, though, to get through all this. South 5 are bumper-to-bumper from Ravenna Boulevard to I-90. Half hour from Linwood. South 405 in Bellevue, we're bumper-to-bumper from Northeast 8th to 112th. Then it opens up pretty quickly for you. So Bellevue to South Center has climbed to 40 minutes, which tells us that this backup here is really thick. Renton to Puyallup, 35 minutes. We're crowded through Kent, and then improving, but still crowded through Algona into Puyallup. South 5 slows from State Route 18 to the Puyallup River Bridge down at the county line. And your Mariners have a 6:40 game at T-Mobile Park, and that's bringing in some added volumes in the downtown, especially the Soto district. Text APP to 888-973-5476 and download the KIRO News Radio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
Coming up tomorrow morning in Choke Points, you know that annoying car in front of you going way under the speed limit, but you can't pass? It's a 2-lane road. Why isn't that guy getting over? It's not like it's the law. Oh, yeah, it is. But you know what? There aren't any signs to tell that driver to do so. What are we doing? I'm here to help you out tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio app.
For 250 years, Americans have believed in one powerful idea, that we are meant to live free to work hard, free to move, free to enjoy life without being held back. But if the natural effects of aging are slowing you down, it might be time to declare your independence from aging. John Curley here. Longevity Medical Clinic has been treating the undesirable effects of aging for nearly 30 years. They have more clinical experience with actual patient care than any longevity practice in the country. I've been a patient for 17 years. Wow, time flies when you got a lot of energy. I don't know where I'd be today without longevity. Longevity Medical Clinic was started so people can get back to living life on their own terms, walking, working, exercising, and enjoying the moments that matter most. This year, as we celebrate 250 years of American independence, take a stand for your own freedom. Get your free health analysis at Longevity Medical Clinic. Find out more at lmclinic.com.
Jason Rance here. If your water heater is getting older, leaking, or running out of hot water, CM Heating has an affordable solution. Get a new gas or electric water heater installed starting at just $44.99 a month. With CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program, you'll get lifetime repairs and maintenance at no extra charge. Parts and labor covered for life. Plus, same-day installation is available in many cases. Schedule your free estimate today at cmheating.com.
License number CMHEAHL 750LP.
On BritBox, your next hidden gem is right around the corner.
If you're going to be bold, here is the place to do it.
Get ready for Britain's most anticipated series, streaming exclusively on BritBox. Catch new seasons of favourites, including Ludwig, starring David Mitchell.
You want someone to get murdered?
And the eagerly awaited new adaptation of Agatha Christie's iconic detective duo, Tommy and Tuppence.
Do you think we're actually really good at this?
Stream the best of British TV on BritBox. Watch with a free trial.
This is Carla Hall for Eggland's Best. Whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, make sure you're choosing wholesome ingredients like Eggland's Best eggs to plus up your nutrition. With more than 6 times the vitamin D and double the omega-3s and vitamin B12 compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best supports a healthy lifestyle. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, organic, free-range, and pasture-raised. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. Visit egglandsbest.com to learn more.
Are you looking to buy a house, but like everyone, you're priced out of the Bellevue, Kirkland, and Seattle market? Many buyers have the income, the credit, and the desire to own, but simply don't have the down payment, often at least $75,000 just for a starter home. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue with a great opportunity for home buyers. Introducing our Legacy Opportunity Loan. Legacy Group Capital has a select group of 100 new construction, single-family, and townhomes in the top Western Washington locations. Acquire a new construction home with no down payment, allowable closing costs paid, and a competitive rate. Yes, that's no down payment and some closing costs paid by Legacy. A wise man once said, the hardest part of winning in real estate is just getting in. And now you can with our Legacy Opportunity Loan. So get in the game.
Limited properties available to qualified Washington borrowers. Learn more about this limited opportunity at LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital LLC at MLS ID 99045. Visit LegacyG.com for additional program details.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil. One simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Granillo. A divided U.S. Supreme Court ruled today the Trump administration can move forward with plans to restrict mail-in voting before November's midterms. ABC's Devin Dwyer reports the president's order allows the Postal Service to help determine which voters receive mail ballots.
This is direction of the Department of Homeland Security to create a federal citizenship list and to distribute it to the state. He asked the Attorney General with this executive order to prosecute any state official who gives a ballot to someone who is ineligible.
Washington is among 23 states that sued to block that order. In a statement, AG Nick Brown says the state will continue to fight the order, saying, quote, states control elections, not the president's. All of Washington's primary results, meantime, have now been certified. KIRO 7 TV's Gary Horker says total turnout was just under 37%.
As far as age, voters 65 years and older were making up around 44% of people who cast those ballots. So what's next? County election offices have until October 16th to mail out ballots 18 days before Election Day. Eligible military and overseas voters will get their ballots 45 days before the Election Day.
And you can still register to vote online up until October 26th or in person anytime before 8 p.m. on Election Day, November 3rd. Washington's drought is getting worse as summer winds down. Here's KIRO News Radio's Tim Holt.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says parts of north central Washington are now in extreme drought. Oregon State climatologist Larry O'Neill says the dry conditions aren't starting wildfires, but they are helping them grow.
Drought didn't cause these ignitions, but they created the conditions
with exceptionally dry vegetation fuels to favor rapid fire growth and extreme impacts once those fires started.
Warmer and drier than normal conditions are expected into the fall, and with a strong El Nino increasingly likely, climate experts say the Northwest could be at risk for another winter of low snowpack. Tim Hole, KIRO News Radio.
Tacoma Fire says dry conditions fueled multiple brush fires across the city today. The fire department's Chelsea Shepard says one broke out near the port of Tacoma after a passing train ignited the brush along the tracks.
We definitely want people to know that it is very dry out there. We hope people are at least being very careful with the preventable piece of this, right? You know, we don't want people throwing cigarettes out the windows. And like, this is just evidence of how dry it really is.
No one was hurt, but the fire did damage a couple of utility poles nearby. Now to the real-time traffic desk. It's 5:32. Here's Nate Connors.
All right, Aaron, Global Credit Union with our update. Light volumes across most of our major routes. North 5 into Seattle has scattered backups, though. From the West Seattle Bridge to the Ship Canal Bridge, 20 minutes from bridge to bridge. South 5, we're bumper to bumper at Ravenna Boulevard into downtown. Linwood to Seattle's at 25 minutes. Crossing the lake into Seattle, westbound 520 is all clear. Across the lake, you'll eventually jam up there at Montlake. And westbound 90 is crowded from West Mercer Way to I-5, but you're pushing the speed limit here. Let's see, Bellevue, South 405, still bumper to bumper from about Northeast 8th to 112th. Bellevue to South Center, right around a 35-minute commute. North 405, still crowded through South Center into the S-curves. Renton to Puyallup on the Valley Freeway, 35 minutes. Little crowded through Kent. We still have a collision. Southbound 167, just past 277th. It's on the right shoulder. And then we're improving, but still crowded in the south end between Algona into Puyallup. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Clear skies tonight. Some upper-level haze also in the mix. Same for tomorrow, with temperatures on the rise Tuesday. Upper 80s for many of us. Right now, 78 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Aaron Granillo, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Did you guys talk eggs while I was gone? Wilcox Family Farm eggs recipes. Did we do those or not? Did you spin the magic wheel?
Nope,
No. When I'm not here, you don't do any of the bits?
No.
The show's like a shell of its former self? Joe and
different show. I can't ask people to sing songs and do bits. They don't get it. Oh, man.
Wow. You are your taskmaster.
That's right.
And Teeny, if you'd be so kind. There it is, still spinning. A little bit of grease on that baby right there. Names of all the players are there spinning around. And it lands on, a big sad face Aaron. Landing on Aaron. That's a shame.
It is a shame, really.
I know you were thinking about the Mariners.
Oh, inspired by Joe's weekend trip to Hay Bagel in the U District. Let's do a bagel sandwich.
Wow, nice.
With whatever you want. Eggs, obviously.
Sure, eggs
cheese,
are fun.
Onions, bacon,
Yes.
sauce, whatever you want.
What kind of eggs, Aaron?
Wilcox Family Farm eggs.
Thank you, Aaron.
What color are the...
Okay, Nate.
What?
Nate.
You can put peppers in yours if you want.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well
I just get the sense that Nate didn't do a lot during the show, like for a week. He's kind of bottled up.
I am,
he,
man.
he got in there.
Did he eat a lot? Okay.
He mixes it up.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Went back to Philadelphia, and I added up how many people. Robbie, Chuck, Lizzie, Matt, Sarah, Will, JJ, Steven, Trip, the new kid coming in. We got a little kid there, like 1-year-old or something, 2-year-old. Lori, Alex, Emma, me, Nick, Rye, Charlie, and Zach, the boyfriend of Charlie, who, by the way, amazing news, steals the Most Valuable Curly Award from Rye, who had won it the year before. But Rye making a true comeback. Prior to winning the Most Valuable Player, we get out awards every year.
Yeah.
Most Valuable Player. The last time the Curleys had seen him, he was drunk in a bathtub throwing up. Yes, after my mom's funeral. So he should have won Most Valuable Player and Most Improved. But it was last year he wins Most Valuable Player. This year, Zach comes out of nowhere. Boyfriend, been with Charlie for 2 years. But he's got lots of humor. In fact, he ends up saying to Robbie, who's sort of she's in charge of everybody, hey, how about I go for a bike ride with you, Robbie, on the boardwalk? Whoa! What? Just going out for a bike ride with Robbie. And right there, everyone agreed that Zach should win Most Valuable Player for the Curleys. at the big getaway in Ocean City, New Jersey.
It was for the bike ride initiative.
Just a bike ride just goes to say to Robbie, I don't want to sit around and watch golf. Let's go for a bike ride. And right there, everyone's like, come on, that's a power move.
And remind me who Robbie is.
Robbie's married to Chuck.
Oh.
They've been married for 37 years.
That's right.
They met on the R5 local. Chuck had the courage to ask her, and then now they had 3 kids. They're all married now. All doing quite well, by the way.
Oh, my.
And then, so Chuck and Robbie, and that's who we went to go see. And this is the hard part for me. Chuck was diagnosed with Parkinson's. He kept it from the family for about a year, so he's had it for about 3. And anybody that knows anybody that's got this horrible condition, so I don't see him for a whole year, and I come back. Now, normally, just to give you some sort of set this up, that normally what I would do is I'd walk in the house. They've had this house for 30-some years. And Chuck would hide behind the door. And I'd walk in and say to Robbie, where's Chuck? And he'd come out from behind the door and tackle me. And then I would throw him onto the ground, get ahead of him, and then fart in his face. Now, we're adults, granted. And Robbie yells, you guys are adults. You're full grown. You're grown men. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. To me, full grown man just means just that much more of a pungent fart. But so now that was like 5 years ago. Now I walk in and he's moving like an old man. It's so horrible. And because I don't see him, but it's the progression of it. And he looks at it like, well, this is just a deal that the hand that's been dealt to me. And he accepts it. What's the expression? There will be pain.
Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice.
Right. So he has the greatest amount of courage with it. But for me, I'm like, oh, my God, that's my brother. Right. It's tough. But everybody deals with it and, just part of life. Everything with us, all Curly's, everything is a game. So, for instance, I said, I'm going to pick the place we're going to have breakfast, but I'm going to try to pick the worst place ever. And they're all like, I'm sure there's a worse place than this. I said, nope, this is guaranteed. I spent some time looking online. I guarantee this will be the worst breakfast we've all had. And they're like, okay, let's see. And we'll put it to a vote. I sent you a video of it.
Breakfast?
Yeah. Okay. I sent you Charlie, and I went around with the camera. And they all agreed. In fact, I think Chuck was sick, not to his stomach completely, but really nauseous after eating there. So there's Charlie. She's got something. You can see that she's going to, there she is. I zoomed in. You can see she's stumping on her. Okay.
The eggs
look
do
at
look
Chuck's.
terrible.
Look at Chuck's.
Is that French toast?
No, that's cream beef on.
Get out of my face.
Get out of my face. And then I think I swing the camera over. You can see Zach on there. Charlie's going to, there's Chuck eating some of that. There we go. Robbie down there. There's Zach, boyfriend. That's boyfriend here. There's Rye. Look at Rye really enjoying his horrible meal. And we walked out. We said that was probably the worst breakfast we could possibly have.
Well done.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And then Rye went and did fast pitch there on the boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey. And I told him
44 the number to beat, man.
44 is the number to beat.
18 plus.
The $5.
You got to beat Ashley. You have to beat Ashley.
I don't know if there's curses in this.
Oh, boy.
Nate, Andrew, could be some curses.
It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt.
First pitch.
Oh.
68 miles an hour.
That's
High
pretty
outside
good.
ball 1.
He said 70. I heard it back there. He goes, I'll get 70.
That's some lady in the background.
68 miles an hour. High outside. They got to go to the left-hander.
He takes the flip-flops off.
That helps.
And now he's going.
$50 later.
50.
Watch this one. View at home on YouTube. Enjoy.
Oh. 71 miles an hour.
He
Feel pretty good about that one. Right.
He cut his foot and then had a
MLB The Show.
then he had a giant scab on his foot for the rest of the time. But yeah, so he wins at 77 miles per hour. So, and he also said that he then went in, took AI, and flipped that thing to say 96 miles an hour and sent it to his friends. I told him, I said, Rye, the way they used to work that thing is, I had the job only for a couple weeks and I worked over the protocol, but we would see somebody we didn't like, some, guy coming in there.
So wait, you're saying that this fast pitch
it's been on the board, but I don't know if that's the same one. But it's been on the boardwalk in Ocean City for years, for more than 50, 60 years, 50 years. When they had the little radar detector thing.
Like a speed,
speed thing. Same thing a cop would use.
Yeah, okay.
So I was, 18, 19.
And it was legit.
No, I was 22 or something. Yeah, well, legit is, the thing's not verified. It's not calibrated.
Oh,
You'd probably take it to court. So what they used to do, my friend and I, we let the guy throw the first pitch.
Move on.
Well, okay, then screw you. Screw you. And you're not going to hear it.
I haven't heard it.
We let the guy throw the first pitch.
Yeah.
The second one, we turn the thing down so it's slower. We take 10 miles off of it. Then we turn it back, reset it again, and then by the time he threw the third pitch, his arm would come with it. Because he was so mad that he threw slower on the second one.
Oh, it was like gaslighting.
But we did. Only certain people got the treatment. They all had to sign up for Tommy John surgery afterwards.
Confirmed injuries?
I don't know. The next day you're pretty sore. Like Rye said, I can't even feel my fingers 2 days later.
How many times did he throw?
Just 6.
And how much did it cost? Did it really cost $50?
No, it was a joke. $5, I think, on each one. But then
$5 a pitch.
No, 5 for each 3. And then if you get ahead, then they give you putt-putt golf, miniature golf certificates. They get you coming and going there in Jersey Boardwalk. They do any way they can get you. Yeah.
I'm surprised your dad didn't own that thing.
My dad bought. No. I'm not going to say no, because then Andrew's going to press the button and I'm going to be accused of telling the story again. No.
Tell the story.
No.
John, you just came back.
He and a friend bought the big slide. And then my dad didn't like the fact that it took too long for people to come down the slide. The faster they come down the slide, the shorter the line, the more people are going to get in line. Because if the line's too long, they're not going to go. They're going to see the line long, they're going to. So my dad had them super duper wax the thing and also get rid of the canvas sacks that went down and had them on these plastic things where they were flying down the thing and bashing into the wall. My father's like, but look how short the line is. Everybody loves it.
So he stuck with it.
No, then if there were lawsuits and stuff, that doesn't matter. The point is, you want to shorten the line to increase the number of people coming through.
Learn some economics.
Learn some economics. Yeah, all righty there. All right, there you go. Thanks for the encouragement, Nate. Checking traffic.
Thank you for sharing. This report brought to us by Seattle Sports. Bellevue, North 405 at approaching Northeast 70th. We've got a new collision in that left general purpose lane. North 5 in Seattle still looking at scattered backups in the West Seattle Bridge or the Ship Canal Bridge. 20 minutes max to get through this. South 5 is bumper to bumper from Lake City Way in the downtown. Linwood to Seattle still right around a 25-minute drive. Let's see, South 405, we're bumper to bumper from Southeast 8 to the VMAC. Bellevue to South Center's at a half hour. Tacoma to Olympia, we're wide open at just a half-hour commute. And on the water, the only extended wait times we have at our ferry terminals are the Clinton and Mukilteo run. Both terminals reporting 1 hour wait for drivers. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial on 97.3 HD2. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
KIRO News Radio, where you hear G and Ursula, weekdays 9 to noon.
Starbucks is going to stop covering GLP-1 medications for weight loss. If you're on it, you know that these drugs per month can be like up to $1,000 if you don't have coverage.
When have we ever believed that pharmaceutical companies or any other company is going to make less profit to help the people out?
Watch live or later on the KIRO News Radio YouTube channel.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time. Like on Wash and Wax, you can get 3 Meguiar's products for just $20. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes.
Your dog is limping, but she seems fine. Plus you've heard they can fake it just to get what they want. So what's the deal now? You're being gaslit.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Oh, now she switched legs. What a diva.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
Is your car's AC blowing warm air? Don't sweat it. Right now, save $50 on any AC service at Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Honest pricing, guaranteed work, 16 family-owned locations, and no appointment needed. Stay cool this summer. Bucky's.com.
This is it. These are the nights. The ones where you laugh until you can't anymore. And smile until your head hits the pillow. Where everything feels just right. Because it is. Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Must be 21 and over. Please gamble responsibly.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
Truck started slow. Battery might be toast.
Slow starts are the first sign of heat damage to your battery. We'll test it, no charge.
Thanks. And if it is dead?
We'll set you up with a new, fully warranted battery, some up to 5 years, and we'll recycle the old one.
Thanks for the rundown. Lead the way.
Get free battery testing, charging, and recycling at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. The one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, if your energy is down, your workouts feel harder, and your drive isn't what it used to be, it may not be aging. It could be low testosterone. At Revive Health here in Seattle, the first step is simple: a free testosterone exam and consultation with an experienced medical provider. We'll review your labs, symptoms, and overall health to determine if testosterone therapy could help improve your energy, strength, and performance. And for a limited time, qualified patients can get started with a free month of TRT. Revive has helped over 120,000 men since 2011 improve energy, sleep, mood, and confidence. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Get answers and take control of your health. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivehealth.com. Revive Health. Elevate your vibe. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact Revive for full details.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
When you order a ride from a rideshare company, do you know what you're getting? Big rideshare companies have been caught failing to protect passengers from dangerous drivers and not supporting drivers and passengers after an accident, all to protect their profits. That's why if you've been injured in a rideshare vehicle, you need Davis Law Group to protect you. Their in-house team of investigators and legal staff has a successful track record of taking on rideshare companies, and they've won millions. Visit DavisLawGroupSeattle.com.
The John Curley Show mailbag is brought to you by Advanced Hair Restoration.
All right, we have time for a song, or what, Joe, your call.
Very short one.
All right, very short song.
That's good.
There we go. That's it. Put everybody in the mood. We'll get the letter of the day first, take care of all the rest.
Dennis in Seattle says, guys, John is back. Also, President Bill Clinton plays the sax. I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Mustang Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Tom in the 425 says, John, the game of the fighter group was the Red Tails. Thank you for that.
Nice. Clip San Paul says, Joe and John, you guys should read about the Big Burn of 1910. The biggest single wildfire in U.S. history was the Great Fire of 1910, also called the Big Burn or Big Blow Up, which consumed 3 million acres across Idaho, Montana, and Washington in just 2 days. Some pretty wild PNW history there.
The Big Burn. Burn. Kids still saying that nowadays?
No.
360 says, time to bring back the bumper-to-bumper bets. Okay.
Nice.
All right. Fine.
Do it.
Fine.
Elliot on a ship in Texas says, I love John's stories from the family visits to the Jersey Shore. Work recently has been sending me to Friday Harbor.
Oh.
It's the place my family always spend our vacations. I don't feel like a visitor going back to Friday Harbor. I feel like a local who just hasn't been there for a while. John, we love the stories about your dad and his pranks. Keep them coming.
Prank. Wasn't a prank. Kai in the 801 says, why don't we just drop an oxygen bomb and take the fire right away?
Hey, never thought of that.
Me neither.
Nice.
Look at Kai coming up with things.
On Beaver Talk, Joel in Snohomish says they're vegetarian, they eat bark. And Jim in Everett says the beaver pelt was the first industry in the Northwest. You can still go up to the Alaska Bush Company and see the wet beaver at work in the wild.
Wow, we're learning so much.
I know.
Paul in Sammamish says the John Curley Show, beavertainment at its finest.
I concur.
I think it should be short of beeve. It should just be beeve.
Beeftainment.
Beeftainment.
Yes.
Sorry about that, Paul.
Well done. Boeing whistleblower 206 says 30 plus years ago at Boeing, I coined the phrase, if you see a problem, you are the problem, because that's how managers treated employees. Punishment was the norm for telling a manager something he didn't want to hear, and that was pre-merger. The merger made it much worse. There's another saying we have at Boeing, don't let excellent be the enemy of good enough.
God. Frank in Mill Creek says, hi, John. The lazy bee was because the letters are not upright. They are slanted.
Huh. 253 says, the movie isn't hurting us at all. We have way more inspections than ever, and shop guys work well with QA, but always check our stuff. You've just been out of the loop for a while. Our sales are up and quality is up. We don't mess around with quality. We're better than we've ever been. I hold my head high.
There we are.
You better let me get this one, too.
Yeah, that's a lot of words.
Scott in Kirkland said, I was a lead technician on the 757 pre-flight. I received change orders from the engineer to make an electrical wire to be replaced. It needed to be bigger than originally thought. When I turned my shift over to the next lead technician, I found out the next day that it was signed off by quality control. When I went back to the 757 and checked that wire, it had not been upgraded. We were working 10-hour days, and I was subsequently sent to the 767 line. I was born and raised in Seattle and had a strong feeling about our aircraft building as I grew up. I spent 6 years in the Air Force working on and identifying problems with avionics. I don't know what happened at Boeing other than I could see a lack of interest in quality, both by technicians who installed the cables and the quality control individual who signed off on it. I chose to leave during a layoff.
Wow.
That's like a novella right there.
I know, it was a lot. Glad you took it.
Thanks.
To Sax. Well, I guess we don't. Look at all the letters. People welcoming you back. Thank you, everybody.
And now it is time for the letter of the day.
Thank you. Well, Teeny's very proud of the letter she's chosen, Joe. Maybe you should read it to us now.
This is from Jen in Scottsdale, who says, wow, that interview with Mr. Myers was absolutely amazing. Great questions, great answers. Very impressive. I am the wife of a corporate pilot, and I live in a neighborhood full of Boeing workers. I cannot wait to see Freefall. Also, big thanks to John, Joe, and Mr. Myers. And also Nate. Oh, and Andrew. Great job, guys. Finally, I vote yes for John's saxophone.
There we are.
I played the clarinet in middle school. I sucked, and I was a last chair. Those reeds are a bitch. We had 2 sax players in our band. Angelo was one of them, and yes, he got all the chicks.
That's right. The trumpet players, we play a little something for you here.
Here we go.
That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. Didn't write no more.
Drop it on the floor.
It's broken, Joe.
Come on. You don't know that.
Sure, now it is. Yeah, all right. Here comes Nate.
We already cleared that collision, North 405 and Northeast 60th there in Bellevue. Bellevue to Linwood, 25 minutes. We're crowded through Kirkland, quickly thinning out through Totem Lake. Seattle to Linwood, wide open in just 15 minutes. Everett to Marysville, also a 15-minute commute. We're thinning out pretty quickly. Heading into Seattle, South 5, bumper to bumper from Ravenna into downtown. Linwood to Seattle's at 25 minutes. North 5, scattered backups between the West Seattle Bridge and the Ship Canal. South 405 in Bellevue is bumper to bumper from Southeast 8th to the VMAC, and then you're going to clear out right away. Bellevue to South Center at a half hour. And in Tacoma, eastbound 16 at South 19th Street, a collision's been moved to your right shoulder, was blocking for a bit. You're in about a mile at the most backup. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan. Presented by Carter Subaru.
Coming up tomorrow morning in Choke Points, you know that annoying car in front of you going way under the speed limit, but you can't pass? It's a 2-lane road. Why isn't that guy getting over? It's not like it's the law. Oh, yeah, it is. But you know what? There aren't any signs to tell that driver to do so. What are we doing? I'm here to help you out tomorrow morning on Seattle's Morning News.
Get all of Sully's Choke Points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO Newsradio app.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose. And millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Are you looking to buy a house, but like everyone, you're priced out of the Bellevue, Kirkland, and Seattle market? Many buyers have the income, the credit, and the desire to own, but simply don't have the down payment, often at least $75,000 just for a starter home. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue with a great opportunity for home buyers. Introducing our Legacy Opportunity Loan. Legacy Group Capital has a select group of 100 new construction, single-family, and townhomes in the top Western Washington locations. Acquire a new construction home with no down payment, allowable closing costs paid, and a competitive rate. Yes, that's no down payment and some closing costs paid by Legacy. A wise man once said, the hardest part of winning in real estate is just getting in. And now you can with our Legacy Opportunity Loan. So get in the game.
Limited properties available to qualified Washington borrowers. Learn more about this limited opportunity at LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, LLC, and MLS ID 99045. Visit LegacyG.com for additional program details.
It's the Great Summer Sell-a-thon at the Spa Warehouse, and the deals are incredible. When the leaves turn and the temps fall, imagine sinking into your very own saltwater caldera spa. Bubbly, blissful warm water right in your own backyard. Our Summer Sell-a-thon means massive savings on in-stock models, so owning your dream hot tub is more affordable than ever. Plus, get interest-free financing through 2028. Visit today for the hot tub of your dreams. Your best life starts at the Spa Warehouse.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Hey, it's John Curley with my friend Bob Stelton. And Bob, just like me, you had a hip problem. You were recommended surgery. Why did you go see Dr. Wagner first?
I was walking around at about an 8 pain level. I couldn't walk that far before the pain would kick in, and it was impacting my workouts and just really impacting my day-to-day stuff.
So you had stem cell on your hip. How does it feel now?
I can do a lot of things I could not do prior to this procedure, and I feel like I've gotten back to being who I was prior to the injuries, which was somebody who's very active, loves being out there outside when the weather's great, being on the motorcycle, sparring in jiu-jitsu, working out. I can do all of those things now. And I've had friends that have gone to see Dr. Wagner. They had the same experience, whether they were dealing with a hip, a knee, an elbow, a shoulder. Everybody walking out of there feels like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Before you choose surgery, do what Bob and I did. Go see Dr. Mark Wagner first. drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. If your air conditioner is barely hanging on, CM Heating has one of the best offers I've heard this summer. Right now, you can get any size high-efficiency AC system for just $179.99 a month with zero upfront cost. And here's the game changer. CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program includes a lifetime